All right. And I'm just going to mute everyone for a second while we take our deep breath so that we can just have a quiet time. So if you want to close your eyes and put your hands over your heart, and I'm doing the same. And let's take a deep breath in and out, allowing your mind to clear. And a deep breath in and out. Just feel yourself getting settled in your space. And a deep breath in and out as you open yourself to all the possibilities. All right, so everyone is unmuted. How was that?
Wonderful. Very refreshing.
Yeah, I needed that too. Can you all hear me okay? Because I have my mic like off to the side.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, great. So I'm going to start with the affirmation card that I pulled. And today is just straight coaching. So we're just going right into it. So, and I'll post this in the group like before. So the Love Yourself affirmation card from Louise Hayes is my inner world is peaceful. That's the front of the card. And the back is, it is safe for me to look within. Each time I look deeper into myself, I will find incredibly beautiful treasures. So once again, that was my inner world is peaceful. And then it is safe for me to look within. Each time I look deeper into myself, I will find incredibly beautiful treasures. So anyone want to share maybe how that, if that resonated with them? Anything around that? This kind of resonated with me today. As many of you know, I have a mood disorder. I have bipolar disorder, PTSD, and anxiety, all this other stuff. And so coming back from the virtual summer, ending it and coming into March, things have been kind of crazy for me. I totally overworked myself. And so for me, if I do too much, I have the down, right? The down that can happen. And so I've been hesitating to do my regular mindset work a little bit because my mind has been all over. And sometimes I can get, it could be a lot of thoughts like racing at the same time. And so I went to therapy today after a couple of weeks because it was all this insurance changes, and kind of doing that inner work. I'm gonna mute because it's like just a lot of background noise. And having basically like the process I will teach you to catch your thoughts, contest it. And one thing I say as the fourth step is that one, reframing the thought, creating a new thought. And then if you need help with this, sometimes the self-coaching or getting coaching or therapy helps. So having the therapist, having us kind of look at the thoughts that I know were problematic and him even catching things, what I said was really helpful for me. And one of the suggestions I give to you all, he kind of gave to me back, was that I'm making an effort to heal, right? And to recover, versus me feeling like, oh my gosh, here I am again. And granted, it's not the worst, right? And so I love this kind of helped me. And I literally just pulled this before the call, like my inner world is peaceful. So that kind of what resonated with me hearing that. And it's safe to kind of do this inner work, and that, it doesn't always have to be bad stuff, right? Like in what I said when we started contesting it, there was all these incredibly beautiful treasures, right, that came about, and him helping me to remember who I am, which is, like I said, the work I do with all of you. So, it's always apt. I feel like these cards are like tarot cards. Like the right card always comes up for me. So that's, how it resonated with me, and wanted to be transparent. That, and I should kind of share this for some of you who are founding members, that everything doesn't always look pretty in entrepreneurship, right? Life doesn't always look pretty and some of you are, like Delisha sharing how her husband is ill, and some of you have ill children, like different things that are happening as you navigate this process. So even the process itself can get anxiety provoking, right? And those kind of things so I don't want you all to think that everything has to be perfect to do well in business. You can definitely be healing along with building your business, serving people, and getting out there. So that's how it resonated with me. Would anyone like to share how, if it did resonate with them, and if not, we can just kind of jump into the coaching. But you can unmute yourself. I just muted because there was a lot of background noise. So I don't know if Shirley, Raquel, or Crystal, if any of that touch you. You can unmute yourself if you wanted to share anything.
Can you guys hear me? This is Crystal.
I can hear you now. Hi, Crystal.
Can you?
I can hear you now.
Hi. Well, I just wanted to, okay.
You're breaking up a bit.
I don't know if this is off the last class. Hold on. You know what? I'm in a bad area. Let me try to get to a better location. I will chime back in a minute.
Come back. Okay, we can come back. Raquel, did you have anything? I saw you unmuted yourself.
Yeah, I do like the quote. Like I said, I put a lot of those in my Facebook too on self-love. I mean, it's one of the major things that I'll be coaching on. Can you see me? Because I know my thing is dark. And I've been trying to prop this thing up.
It's like a silhouette because the light's behind you. If you put the light in front of you, it'll shine on your face.
Okay, there we go. I turned myself the other way. So maybe that's better so you can see me. But no, I am all about affirmations and inspiring people. That's one of the main things that I want to do as part of my coaching sessions with my clients, just to let them know that they're not alone in whatever they're going through or whatever they're feeling, that I'm there to support them and that they can get through this. A lot of people will sit in certain things in their lives and not feel that they can get on the other side of it. And I just want to be a part of that and getting them there. So I think the affirmations are awesome. They inspire me. So I post them all the time.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and often, you know, you may have heard this before, and if not, this is maybe the first time that we often say, like, we are our first clients. And, you know, that soulmate client sometimes is where you were. Right. So this way, and sometimes where you still might be, but just look further. So often, what are the things that are feeding us, right? And that kind of knowing that your ideal client or your soulmate client will also be fed perhaps by the same thing. So I love that you're talking about how the affirmations feed you, and it seems like probably part of your group, or at least even on your regular Facebook page, wherever you're sharing this, that, you know, they probably also connect with other people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, Crystal, let us know if you're in a good place. I see you in the car. Is the connection?
Oh, you can see me still? Girl, I thought I was not being seen. Get out of here. Y'all seen me this whole time? Yeah. OMG. Okay. I need to learn how to work this. So if I don't want to be seen.
Those are like my mastermind call, so it's all good.
Oh my gosh. So what do I do if I don't want to be seen, Miss Q?
There should be a little video icon. If you click it, I think from the phone app, and then it'll hide your video. But
wow. Okay.
Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, I do like affirmations too. I always have them posted in the office. They just they help me to feel better about the day, about myself, about the business. So the affirmations do help, and I did post the one that you gave us last time too. But I wanted to change the subject just a second and say thank you, because you were talking about Square and how they go off of your transactions and they don't really affect your credit score. So I was like, because they always send me, so I was like, no, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And they gave me a pretty nice loan that the next couple of days after we had the meeting. So thank you. I was able to get some inventory, get ahead of the game. So awesome.
That was going to be my next ask of wins.
Yeah. So yeah, that was definitely a win.
Money.
Yes.
Yeah, I should talk about Square. So yeah, if you use Square, I don't know if Stripe does it, but I know PayPal does it too. They have often working capital. So if many of your transactions come through there, you can apply. And I always tell people, keep applying, like do it the next week or a couple of days later, because you never know. Some transactions will come in and they'll be like approved. So
yeah, that was awesome for me.
If you don't mind me asking, how much did they approve you for?
I got $4,700.
Wow, that is
awesome. I got $4,700. It didn't affect my score, just like she said, you know, because 90% of my clients pay with a card. So I do a lot of volume in that way, but I was always nervous because I took a couple dings with my credit. So I was like, I don't want to do this. And then they, you know, don't approve me and things like that. I never really took the time to read the literature that they were sending me. So in the meeting with you all, you know, like they said, information is power. And I was listening and I said, you know, I'm gonna try it. And I did. And I was happy. They sent it like 2 days later.
I am beaming. I'm like, that is so exciting. And I might have told you all this. Like when I came back in what was it, like no, end of October, November, after that hiatus because of mental health, whatever. And I felt cash poor. And you know, sometimes like I like to use Facebook ads and other types of marketing. And I was like, darn it, like how am I gonna do my Facebook ads feeling cash poor, right? And applying for that working capital loan, like the first one, PayPal gave me $1,000. And then when I applied for Kabbage, I think they gave me like, it was either like $1,500 or $2,000. Like that was a lot to kind of get the money beforehand. And then of course, like your transactions and money coming in, you know, you pay the loans back. And like, just to have that influx of revenue, like I know Yolanda been talking about like trying to find a space for her workshop and having the money for the deposit is, you know, it makes such a big difference in your business when you're like, oh, I have cash flow that then I can like move to the next step. So congratulations for, you know, one, applying, right? Because sometimes we have to kind of get over ourselves to do that, to say, all right, I'm going to do this and see what happens, right? I know.
Right.
I said it not yet or not right now. Like I think I got 2 or 3 no's from PayPal Working Capital. And then I remember texting or Facebook chatting LaShonda Henry, who's coming next week. And I was like, LaShonda, I'm not getting approved. Because she was the one that suggested it for me. She was like, all right, get some transactions in and then apply again. And then the next time I got it, and I messaged her like, yeah, I got some money.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was just awesome.
Again. So, and that's the same thing with sales. Like, you know, just because someone says no doesn't mean it's a no forever. It could be just a not right now, right?
Yeah.
You know, maybe they needed the information and they can plan for it differently. So don't be afraid of a no, right? And don't internalize it as a rejection of some, you know, like I just like literally got rejected today from 2 other lenders because I was trying to refinance. And then I asked, because Kabbage kind of called me and was like, do you want to be considered for some other things? I said, sure. And you know, I got rejected and I asked them, I was like, you know, I got rejected twice today. I was like, you know, I'm not going to apply because those actually do affect your credit because, you know, you're going to like formal lenders. I was like, look, these inquiries are like reducing my credit 3 points every time. And I was like, I think I'm going to just wait. And he was like, yeah, you want to wait, increase your revenue. And I was like, well, what are the revenue numbers I need to be hitting? And he was like, oh, 150 to 100K. And I was like, oh, that's why. Like, right? I'm like bringing in 5K a month. He's like, yeah, we need you at like 8K or whatever to qualify for those particular lenders. So I'm like, oh, like once again, asking the question, getting the information, and now I can make a different informed decision about, you know, which lenders, and knowing that because Kabbage right now is like 20%. And now I know why, right? Because they're like short term. You know, if you have less revenue coming in, they also accept people with like lower credit scores. Mine was 690, but now it's like a 670 from like different things, right? Using the funding. And as I pay it down, of course, you know, it'll go back up because it's like the, you know, the percentage of credit that you're using that also affects your credit score. And now I understand like why these, you know, almost like payday loans in a way, right? Like why these things are at different amounts, but now I can make a more informed decision going forward. So like with anything in this business world, like use it as information, evaluate it, and then it helps inform your next step. So congratulations on that. And I saw Jamie joined us. Hey, Jamie. All right. So any other wins? Anyone? And once again, wins are not just like money, right? Of course, I love to always hear money stuff, but breakthroughs, aha moments, clarity. Like some of you shared the clarity that you got. So of course, let's all share it together, although we have the thread. So I'd love to just go around for everyone that's on the call. So Crystal just shared hers, but Jamie, Shirley, Raquel. And if you're watching this later, the replay, feel free to post in the group. Like, what are some wins from this week? And then we'll jump into the coaching. Even if you wrote it in the thread, you can just repeat it on the call so we can celebrate you.
Hi, Cornisha.
Hey, Shirley.
Hi. Well, listen, I've been like in my family, I've been experiencing my son just, I don't know, one thing after the next with illnesses. And I just really just came to the conclusion that if not now, when?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just like, I really readjusted my priorities and said, you know what, if like there might be always something coming up. So you really have to make this a priority because things aren't getting done.
Mm-hmm.
So that realization really just helped me to refocus. Like I was supposed to go to my meditation class tonight, and I was like, you know what? I haven't done anything for my business in a long time, aside for setting up the business account and so I was like, you know what? You really need that coaching. What, you're paying for this, so why don't you attend the call? You have a few questions, really reevaluate where I'm at, and really, I mean, nothing gets done if action doesn't occur.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just like, I really wanted to use Mercury retrograde as a time, was 3 weeks of time where, people can really restructure, where people can really work on projects and really get things situated. So afterwards you can really launch and really make an impact. And I was finding that just because of my son's illnesses, I was not getting anything done, and I'm just like come to the realization that now's the time, regardless of what his situation is. Now is the time.
I love that question you shared, and probably so many of us can relate. The if not now, then when, right? And it's exactly what you said. There's always going to be something that can take your focus away. And it's funny, I just remembered, like, before you even started talking to mention, I was like, wait, Shirley's supposed to be at her meditation class. And a lot of the business stuff is reprioritizing, right? So sometimes, and I'm not saying like you can never go to your meditation class again, but like when I started my business, I stopped volunteering on Saturdays and I got off committees because I was like, that's time I could dedicate to building my business. I've done that, and maybe I'll get to the place where I can do it again. Or now I actually just donate money, right? It's a different way to still give back. But that's a clear realization. I'm glad that you had this moment of like, wait, this is important to me. And this is my vision of doing this full time, right? Or having to support my family in some way and making those adjustments. And I definitely understand having like sick kids and trying to manage this. And so that's why I often tell you all, tell me how much time you got and we'll figure it out. So thank you for sharing that, because I know that many others will be kind of benefit from hearing that whole, like, it's really about setting different priorities and constantly reevaluating your priorities, right? As different things come up. And like Delise mentioned that, she had to step away for a day or two to tend to an important family matter. And then she came back and she got 2 clients. So obviously she somehow was still working her business. Right. So, sometimes that reprioritization happens week to week, depending on what's going on in your family. So one, thank you for prioritizing this to be here, getting what you need so that, like you said, you can take these next steps in your business. So that's an awesome aha moment and breakthrough. Thanks. Let's see, Raquel or Jamie, do you want to share any aha moments, wins, breakthroughs?
Well, a win for me is I did finish my 90-day program that I was writing out for my clients. I got a list of questions in each area I'm coaching in: self-love, effective communication, and relationships. And I am really excited about that. I was a little setback in the sense that I couldn't come up with something. So I said, okay, Holy Spirit, you have got to give me something. I want something that's going to really be effective and make a change in the lives of my clients. And after that prayer, it just flowed. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I was so happy and so excited. So that was a big win for me. And plus, I turned 45 yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday.
Yes, thank you
for sharing that. Because once again, I think sometimes we get frustrated when we're stuck, or we feel like all these self-criticism and judgments can come. And I know one thing about the women who come in our community, I know we're spiritual. We all may not have the same faith system or dogma and all these other things or structures. But the fact that, so whether it's universe, higher power, God, right? But sometimes stopping and just saying, God, help me. Right. I used to be part of this community called iBloom, and it's very Christian-centered business. And one thing she talked about was having a daily prayer meeting with God. Like saying, gratitude first for thank you for what you were bringing into my business. And then asking those questions like, God, what is my next step? Or this is my marketing plan. What do you think? Right. That deep. And so there's so many times, like even why I focus on Black women, like that came to me in prayer. God was like, focus on the Black ladies. I was like, that's not what I was gonna do for my thesis, but okay, I'll change it. Right. So sometimes it is like, and not questioning it. Sometimes it's like, I want to say that first mind, or you kind of know sometimes what that God self voice is, like that still small voice. And trusting it, right? Trusting that inner spirit intuition and just seeing what happened, right? And if you're stuck again, say, all right, what's the next step? Right? So thank you for bringing that spiritual aspect to it, that, yeah, I'm here. I can give you some insight and coaching. Sometimes I'm checking in with myself, like, all right, what am I hearing, right? As far as like what's resonating with this person. But I would suggest any of you, sometimes when you're getting stuck, and whatever your belief system is, sometimes it may be, let me tune into myself. Like, what is my intuition telling me is my next best step? So thank you for sharing that. And I love that you said the result was like you got that divine download and it was like, oh, what is this whole time?
Yeah. Yes, it was absolutely amazing. And I'll be sharing that. And I did put a few of it in the question part. So whenever you get to that part.
Okay, yeah. I probably missed the update, but I will get to it.
Yeah.
Jamie, any wins and ahas? I know you shared something in the what do you call it, the thread, but definitely wanted to hear it on the phone.
I shared that good afternoon first, or good evening. I shared that the wins were completing my outline for the book that I wanted to do, finally, and being able to complete the email sequence that I wanted to for the 5-day challenge and figure out how to automate it, which I was able to do. I put that I have someone working on my Pinterest, which I'm going to eventually find, whether that's I don't know. For me, I was trying to figure out whether Pinterest was something that was beneficial to my my brand, I guess. I wasn't exactly sure if it was needed. So this young lady is really good on Pinterest. So she's kind of working it out to see if anything changes in regards to getting people to seek my services.
Okay.
And then another win was I traveled to Aruba last week. And so that is like check off the list of travel places.
Love it.
So those are my wins for the week.
So next time, can you put me in your luggage?
In my suitcase?
Yes.
Me too.
We can ride it off.
Me too.
That's right, exactly. They'll be like, beep, beep, ma'am, you have to take your luggage back. There's something in here. Do you have anything liquid, fragile? You know that whole thing they give.
Overcharge is like, here. But that's so great. I'm glad that, bucket list things are getting checked out. So
yes.
Lots of great wins. All right. Well, let's jump into our, what do you call it? Laser coaching. Marsha's coming in at 8. But Jamie, you were actually next. And I know one of the things you put on your CEO check-in was, let me pull it up. You said better ways to get clients. So I have some questions for you so that I can get some clarity. I know we talked some details in the thing, but you could just tell me briefly some of these. But so some of my questions were, how are you currently getting clients?
So most people that have been coming to me were people that were already in my group.
Okay.
That door closing. So those are the main people that I've pretty much been having conversations with.
Okay,
so either they follow me on Instagram or they're in my Facebook group.
Okay, so Instagram and your Facebook group. And these are paid clients, right? Because I always want to make sure we all know the language I'm saying. Like when I say clients, these are people who are paying, right?
I am not getting paid.
Oh, okay. So they're not.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah,
so the these are just paid people. Mm-hmm. How have you?
That's the struggle, getting paid people.
All right, so paid clients. So when you were saying clients, what was what was that makeup for you? Like, so when I just said, how are you getting clients? And you said from the Facebook group and Instagram.
I just meant people who I've spoken to outside of the group who've reached out to me in one capacity or the other outside of the group. So they've either messaged me and we've had a strategy session or something to that effect.
Okay, so the strategy session,
Mm-hmm.
what were you, let's break this down a little bit. So I want you to think of one call, right?
Okay.
Right now. So what was, just tell me the person's first name.
I'll call her Nia.
All right, Nia. What was Nia's challenge? Or like,
Her challenge was, I want to, it was a co-parenting issue. Having mutual, I guess, a mutual understanding of visitation for the child.
so tell me her exact words. Like, what did she say?
This is why she was not my client. She said that she wanted him to, she was like, I need him to understand that he has to come to my house to see the kids. And that's kind of where it is. That's it.
Okay, so when
If
you
he
said
wants
she's
to see
not
the
your
kids,
client,
if he wants to see the kids, he has to come here to see them.
okay, when you said she's not your ideal client, why is that based on that?
Well, it was much deeper through the conversation. I also discovered that she said she wanted a healthy co-parenting situation, and that's pretty much what I would be there to foster. However, she also, was talking about all the things that she has done and does to provoke drama.
Okay, so really fast, did she explicitly say I'm provoking drama, or that's your analysis?
That's my analysis. She said, I have gone to his fiance's Facebook page, saw something that she posted, called her job.
Okay, well, let's pause there. You don't have to go deep. I got it.
Yeah.
All right, so you have this conversation, you hear this. Where did it go after that? Were you just like, this is not my ideal client, I'm hanging up the phone? Or did you make it to her?
Well, I offered her, instead of, there's a piece of the program that I put together that had a portion of working on yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of led with that piece because I felt like that's where she is. She's not at the part where she can go and have effective communication with this man, because she's still at the first piece of that. She's still in the pain and
I got that. So what did she say in response?
She said, oh, well, I'm switching jobs right now, so I have to see.
She ain't got no money.
Financially, right.
Right, okay. All right. So the other
okay, in those terms, yes.
Right, she ain't got no money. So in the other calls, was that kind of when you got to the talking about the offer, or they didn't have no money? Is that kind of
right? One had to speak to their spouse first,
right?
Which if that's how you guys share your money and you whatever, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other said she was in, and then when everything was sent, like, okay, here's the agreement and this is what's going to happen, then it was like, oh, I'm not able to. So it all comes back to finances to me.
So on the phone, did she say yes? Like when you told her the price, she said, yes, I can do that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. There's a couple of things here. When you tell people, how are you calling them in as far as when you say who this session is for?
So when I'm having my strategy session, you mean?
Well, like inviting people to get a strategy session. Do you say this is for you if?
Yes. So if you are in a co-parenting situation where you want to foster, I don't say foster effective communication, but either if you're in a situation where there's a lot of drama, no boundaries, then those are the people, but you're ready to move forward. Those are the people that I want to have a conversation with. And
okay.
That's pretty much how I word it.
Okay. So there's a couple of things I want you to do understanding this, right? So once again, sometimes when I share laser coaching, it's kind of tailored to that person, but I want you all to think for yourself, everybody, if you are doing this, right? So definitely take notes if you hear something that you're like, shoot, I'm not doing that, right? So when we're calling people in for our sales conversations, or if it's a sales page and you're like, click here, we want to be clear in our communication who this is for. And one thing you may want to do, Jamie, is says this is for you if you are someone who's ready to invest in having the family that you desire, or having the co-parenting relationship that you desire, right? And one thing I want you to kind of change is lead with the vision, because this is what I found. When I found that, so one of my things I used to say is, are you a Black woman who is frustrated building your business while working your 9 to 5? And so I got all the frustrated people getting strategy sessions, but they didn't necessarily want to work on their businesses, right? They wanted like hear about their frustration, which is fine. But once again, we're not here to be therapists. We're here to work with people who are ready to move forward, right? So your strategy session calls are not free coaching. They're not drama therapy sessions or anything like that. Of course, once again, we're, and this will be something I'm posting, is how to do the strategy session, right? I have a script and all that other stuff. So sometimes being like, are you ready to have the co-parenting relationship that you desire, one that is peaceful, at ease, and benefits both you and your partner, right? Or your former partner or co-parent or whatever, right? So kind of honing in, and you can get that language once again when people are saying like what they want, what they're desiring, and you can start to use their words, right? So, you know, you say these sessions are for you know, women who are ready to be in harmony with their partner, their fellow co-parent, are ready to learn how to communicate effectively with them and to explore what may be holding them back and how to move forward with facilitating these relationships, right? This is not a free coaching session, but an opportunity to explore if and how I can help you. And please note, this session is for you. And I could put a link to one of these where I said this session is not for you if you are looking for free coaching, right? If you're someone who's not open to, you can even say like exploring yourself. I have a whole list, right? And once again, you don't have to, I mean, you can literally copy that if you feel like it resonates, and then we could tailor it just to who you are. So do you hear that's missing? Like really tailoring and this often takes confidence, everybody, and refining and saying like, I'm standing for who I want to work with. Right. So some of you may be like, oh, that's bold, but I want you to start being bold. Like, I ain't got time to be on the phone. Like, and so let me back that up. So I kind of suggest everyone, like the first 40 applications you get, talk to everybody, because you want to practice doing your strategy session rap.
Okay.
But you have talked to enough people, right? So I want you to start. So this is for Jamie. Like really refining like who this is for, and you're someone who wants to invest, and you can put in parentheses time, money, resources, and having your ideal co-parenting relationship, right? And I think for you, have you been sending them an application to even decide, or any questions they have to fill out to talk to you?
Yes.
Okay, one of the questions on there, do you ask how much capital do you have right now?
I sure have not.
Yeah, so we want people, once again, it's not your soulmate client, everybody, if they cannot pay you. Once again, we're not a charity, so I want you all to understand this. While people may need these type of services, it is not water, it is not food, it is not a necessity. Right? So don't feel bad. You're like, well, there's people who need life coaching and like that's nice, but you're not here for that. You have a business that's offering a solution in exchange for money.
Right.
Right. So part of that application, right, before they even get the link to schedule is, you know, how much capital you have in invest right now. And if they put 0, say this disqualifies you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right? It started out with 1,000 to 5,000, right? 1,000 to 3,000, 3 to 5, 5 to 10. Because then people will see like, oh, shoot. And I even got to the point where in my strategy session application, some of you may have seen this. I'll send you the link because it's like the old one. I say, this is for you if you can invest at least $1,000, because that's where our programs start. And if in the application they said they didn't have, because people would still fill it out, or some people didn't watch the video or whatever, but they would not get accepted, right? And you can, like, before I used to send emails like, hey, I saw you put this, is that accurate? I have a challenge that may help you. But I even stopped doing that. I was just like, I'm just replying to the people who say they have 1,000 to 5,000 or 1,000 to 3,000, because then I know. Right. And recently I made an even longer application. So this way you got through that. And I made it clear, like, you really are more of a, like, it really segmented the people who are really serious.
Okay.
Right. So for you, application, making it clear, like, how ready are you to invest resources, right? Time, money, energy into solving this problem. And then specifically, how much do you have to invest right now in coaching? And sometimes I had the option, like, I ain't got no money, so I'm not ready for coaching, so that they could understand, like, if you don't have money, you're not ready for private coaching. And it's okay. They can stay on your list, all this other stuff, because maybe one day you do a workshop and it's $127, right? And so maybe they can afford that. But for your private time, everyone, people have to invest at a certain level to have your private time to walk them through the process that they need.
Right. Okay.
Right. So do you hear that? So that will reduce people coming to you who can't pay.
Very true.
Right. And I've had calls where someone put 1 to 5 when I got to the point of saying, like, well, this is how much the investment is. And they're like, I don't have that right now. And I was like, well, why did you put this on the application? They were like, well, over one day, I said, okay, well, you know, just in the future, when you fill something like this out, people are kind of asking you right now.
Right.
So I even wanted to, not everybody knows that. So I even wanted to teach and train them, like, because I'm very conscious about scheduling strategy sessions for people if I know I ain't got the money, right? Or I'm not ready to invest. So I kind of take the extra step. If I got there to be like, well, why did you do this, right? And I say it in a friendly manner. So it's not like, why are you wasting my time? But
Right.
why did you put that if you weren't ready? And I'm also very conscious that sometimes those people are seeking free coaching. So they may ask, like, well, what do you think I should do? And I'm like, well, this is not a coaching call, but I can tell you what you're missing. And if you want to move forward, this is how. Right. So what do you think about that? Does that resonate? Does that provide some clarity?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is where, like, for you, getting really like hard game, hard ball. All right.
But also listening to the client clarity training. Just like, I literally had nothing was going on at work this afternoon, and I was like looking behind me, like, push play, and I literally listened to all of it. I was like, oh my goodness, now it makes perfect sense. Like what you were saying just now, what you said literally goes back to what was in the inside of the client clarity training.
Good. So I'm glad I'm being consistent, and this is echoing everything. So this is what I kind of suggested for you going forward. Like, you have this group. Did you decide to close the group or announce that you're closing the group?
I still want to close. I still feel like the group needs to not really close. I just kind of think there needs to be a shift. Like, I want the more serious people that are ready to move forward, that are really seeking, information in the group. I don't want it just to be like, I don't want the group just for the numbers. Like, there's a lot of people in the group. I don't want it for that. I want it literally, so there's a question, maybe they can help each other, that kind of thing.
So if you do, so there's 2 ways to think about this, right? If you do want to keep the group, I would open up a new group, right? So you could put like high vibe co-parenting, like community, society, or whatever. So, announce that group is closing and a new group is opening. And this is for women who are serious about creating healthy co-parenting relationships and are willing to explore themselves and learn effective strategies for doing so. Right. And when I share some of the marketing things, like, you will be kind of marketing to that group.
Right.
Of saying, like, hey, I'm so excited you are here. Over the next month, I'm going to be sharing some myths, mistakes, and some of the solutions to common co-parenting things. And again, you can, like, strategy session calls, they're kind of like market research, right? You know what people are saying, their problems are, and I encourage you to show up and do a live every week in this new group.
Oh, okay.
Right, every week with the call to action to say, if this resonated with you, if you're seeing some of these myths around healthy co-parenting, let's talk. Right? If you are ready to invest in having the healthy co-parenting relationship that you desire, click here. I'm happy to explore if and how I can help you. The time.
Okay.
right? So every week have some, and it could be just a 10-minute video. It doesn't have to be these long 30 minutes. It can be like, today I'm talking about, you know, how sometimes we self-sabotage, you know, our relationships with our co-parent. Here's 3
Right.
things that we do, or here's the number 1 thing that we do. If you find that you're doing this and you are ready to get the support that you need and invest in yourself to solve this problem, I have complimentary 30-minute, get your co-parent life together, clarity call strategy.
Right.
Or you can even start with a workshop, right? So I want you to get paid faster than not. And so this is what you could do. Sometimes the workshop format, y'all, you can have a workshop that's coming up, right? For like $97 or $127, where you're like, we're going to help you create a co-parenting plan or something, right? And because you have a list and you have people who pay to work with you or kind of interested, and then it could be a 2-hour workshop, right? And at the end of that workshop, you can then make the call. Hey, are you still stuck? Are you needing support? Then let's talk, right? Like I use that as segmenting all the time, because 1, if people pay for the workshop, you know they're a buyer. It's also
Right.
a good way to take a taste test of you, because some people, you know, they want to like, you know, be like, well, what's she really about? Can she help me? And when they see like, oh, this is good, or these worksheets are helpful.
Right. Right.
You can do this within 30 days. Like you can start at the beginning of April marketing this, have the workshop at the end of April or early May, and fill those seats. One thing I also do, and some of you have experienced this, I will give free 20-minute power sessions. And those power sessions, I'm like, I'm going to give you one effective strategy, but I have, I'm going to put this up like within the week. I have the power session wrap that says, like, in the beginning, I say, you know, if you find this effective, you know, I'm going to ask you if you want to maybe move forward working with me. And if you don't, it's fine. You're still going to get an effective coaching session. But if you do, you know, either you can kind of go into the strategy session at that time, or you can reschedule to say, you know, let's have a time to talk for 30 minutes to see how I can further help you with this challenge.
Okay.
Right. So you could say, hey, everyone who signs up by the 15th, right, will get a 20-minute power session or clarity session with me, in addition to the workshop. And one thing you want to do is put a limiter on that, you know, so say you're doing this workshop at the end of April. And y'all seen, because you've been in the Getting On Bootcamp, y'all seen me do this, right? Where I'm like, you have to schedule your 20-minute power session in April, right? Or by May 15th, right? Depending on what time it is. And so you open up your calendar for those power sessions.
Okay.
And so I definitely think pricing it at like $97 to $127. When you do the second round of that maybe same workshop, I would price it at like $197, right? But $97 is a no-brainer offer, right? No-brainer. So I would either encourage you to, 1, you can go straight to strategy sessions or do this workshop to get people in. And once again, you can market it to your email list. And then at the end of the workshop, you can say, hey, are you feeling stuck? Do you still need help? Click here to, you know, and they don't need to apply. You can send those people directly to your calendar link because they already kind of segmented it themselves, saying like, I'm a buyer. So those people, I just send straight to my strategy session link. I might have 2 to 3 questions, like, what is your biggest challenge? What would you like to talk about? Right. And once again, some of you have seen that or you filled it out when you scheduled your power session. And once again, I can put all these kind of things, just like give you the templates for everybody.
Okay.
And then that. So what do you think about that? And once again, even if you did the workshop, then you can go into a strategy session campaign, right? So if you say, all right, at the end of April, I'm going to have this workshop. I'm going to spend the next 3 weeks promoting it. Even if it's 10 people in there, right? That's like $1,000. Who would like $1,000 for 2 hours of their time, 2 to 4 hours of their time? Right. So, you know, your goal could be, let me get 10 people in here. And then after that, you could do a strategy session push, right? So over the next month of April, you can promote the workshop. And it could be one of the major challenges that people are having. Have a 2 to 4 hour workshop. And then after that, it's May, right? You can push hey, May, my calendar's open for strategy sessions. I'm accepting 15 people to do calls with, or I'm doing calls between May 1st and May 15th. Click now to apply and get your strategy session. So then you're getting people for then the bigger offers, right? Because then you would have promoted your workshop. People should sign up for that.
Right.
And then some people may say, some people don't like workshops because they want private time with you. And then you can promote the strategy session.
Okay.
Right. So because how big is your list?
I have, no, my email list is not big. Well, they're
How many?
different lists. So I don't have a big list.
All
100
right, so I
people.
want you to consolidate all the emails you have into one list.
Hmm.
And we want to start nurturing those relationships, emailing them. And even if it's like, hey, I haven't contacted you all in a long time, I'm so excited about this new Facebook community, right? Once again, you have an Instagram following, start promoting your list. If you have a free offer, hey, grab my cheat sheet on 6 co-parenting tips. If you don't have a free offer, create like a 1-pager. 6 steps to having a healthy co-parenting relationship. And literally it could be 1, know what you want, right? 2, talk to your co-parent.
Right.
Literally be a 1-pager, right? Because you got to own the list. Instagram owns their contacts. You don't, right? So if you tell me I got 1,000 Instagram followers, I'm like, you ain't got their emails, right?
Right. Exactly. We all know that from last week when Instagram and Facebook was like, psh.
Exactly. So that's the other thing I suggest. Your social media marketing, you're promoting the workshop, or you're getting people on this list, right? Call to action. Then on your list, re-engage with people. Say, hey, Jamie's here. Let me reintroduce myself. And I'm so excited that over April, we're doing some awesome things. The first thing I want to give you is this free checklist, 6 steps to blah, blah, blah your parent. Right. And then you can start promoting this workshop. Hey, have you been struggling with this? I dealt with this when I first was a parent. And one thing you want to do is really think about your mindset. And in this upcoming workshop, we're going to be diving into an effective strategy to create a co-parenting plan, right? Early bird special is happening now. Get 25% off. It's $97.
Okay.
It's happening in April so-and-so. Right. So what do you think about that plan?
I like that plan.
Right.
I'm excited and I'm like, I got a plan.
Yeah. So like you have a ready buyers, you have people who are struggling with this issue, start getting paid.
Yes. Amen.
Right. So the main things are create the new group, right? Tell people this is where we're going. Content marketing, it really is like, can you create 3 to 5 posts, right? That's kind of story format with the call to action to sign up to this workshop.
Okay.
And then on your social media, I want you to be promoting a mixture of the upcoming workshop and the 1-pager, right? Because we want to get people on your list. Everyone, email is not dead. It is not, right? Think about all the emails you open. Think about what you buy from emails, right? It's not dead. And so we got to own the money is in your list. Right. So we got to be getting folks, and once again, there's going to be trainings on this and stuff like that. Right. But getting folks onto our list, and then we're nurturing those relationships. That's that customer journey, right? Nurturing those relationships.
Yes.
All right. So I hope that kind of helped everyone, but for particularly Jamie.
Absolutely.
Wow. So once you get paid.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. All right. Great. Great. So are you feeling good? How you feeling?
I am. I'm feeling good.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Hey, Marsha. All right. So, Marsha, you are here and you were the first person that said you wanted coaching. So do you want to jump in or do you need to get to some place?
Yeah, just give me like 5 minutes, like getting in the car.
All right. So we're going to do that. Is Alicia here? Okay, Alicia's not here, but I wanted to talk to her. So Alicia and I, as y'all probably sure, we're doing some heavy laser coaching in the Aya community. And Alicia particularly wanted help in getting clarity on her, finding a niche. She kind of felt like it was all convoluted. So Alicia, we kind of honed in on that you particularly want to help entrepreneurs who are ready to write their book but are getting stuck because past issues are coming up, right? So that was like the main question. But in your check-in sheet, you put effective marketing. You want to help with effective marketing once I create your signature offer. What is the waste of my time doing revenue generated activities only? When I get people on the phone again, how to close the deal. So Alicia, because you also have a following, I think you said you have 100 and something people on your email list. One thing I want you to do is create your open for business email. There will be a template for this, right? So, but in preparation for that, and everybody can do this, start writing down if you were getting married or if you got married, if you were having a baby shower, right? If you were having like a major life event, I want you to write down everyone that you will invite. So open up like an Excel sheet, even if you have to first brainstorm the names and then get their email addresses, right? This is who you're sending either your open business for announcement or update. So even if you sent one in the past, I want you to leverage your personal network, right? I think the statistics are that each one of us have like, I think it's 300 to 600 people in our network, right? These are the people who know, like, and trust you in some capacity, right? So the first thing, Alicia, I want you to do is brainstorm everybody, past clients, cousins, your family, people that you used to work with, all this in the email, right? And you're going to send this email from your private email. We're not just adding them to our email provider, right? And then also even the people on your email list. But that's a little separate, even though you're going to send like the same content. And letting people know, and I have a template for this too, y'all. So I'm gonna put all this stuff in the group this week. You're open for business or even your update email, right? Letting people know like, hey, I am so excited that some of you know I've been in business for 2 to 3 years working with people like this. And now I'm working with entrepreneurs who want to write their book, but feel like they're getting stuck, right? And so if this is something that interests you and you will like, I'm offering a complimentary 30-minute blah, 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 click here, right? I also have a free checklist for, 3 things you need to explore before you write your book, click here. Or I also build my business through referrals, right? So if you know anyone, I actually, over the next 2 weeks, I am having a special where they get 10% off services. So if you know someone or if you yourself need support with writing your book, just reply here. And also, I want to know how you're doing. So please reply and let me know. June Christian, it's Kara Christian, Dr. June. She did this, right? We had to work through it to get her to do it, right? But when she sent her email to her network, literally 2 or 3 days later, she got offered a contract for $25,000 because someone in her network was like, oh, you're doing this? We are applying to a school district and we need help with this as a subcontractor. And if she never sent this open for business email, y'all, she wouldn't got offered that $25K contract opportunity. So don't underestimate your list. Every time I've opened a business, I've sent this private email. I sent people updates. And literally, at least in the next week, someone's like, oh, I want to call with you. And mind you, these are people who I went to high school with, right? Or different things. And that's how I get sometimes my first clients for like a new thing because I'm updating everyone. You are not bothering people, right? You're not being a pest. So just how, once again, if you were getting married, having a baby, if you were a new puppy, right? You're like, look at the people you send your Christmas list to, right? Why not your business, right? This purposeful work you're doing. So the same way you want to show them your Yorkie, why not tell them what you're doing in your business, y'all? So that's for Alicia, but everybody will be doing this, right? So step 1 is sending this open for business announcement email. The second thing, and you want to do this once you have either your Calendly set up to set strategy sessions. If you have, once again, y'all could create a 1-page checklist or 3 things to know to do whatever it is that you're doing to get your love life right, to become a great co-parent, to tap into your spiritual self, right? To get over your anxiety about buying a new house, right? Lisa, to get started with, to become an awesome caregiver, right? Or to take care of yourself as a caregiver, literally 1 page, y'all. And that could be your free offer because what you want to do is take these people who are on your network list because we're only emailing them once and then we're emailing a reminder like, hey, just in case you haven't seen this 2 or 3 days later, I wanted to resend this to you, right? And then, but the people who are either having the struggle or want to learn more, they're going to go into your email list now. And now they're giving you permission marketing to email them about the challenge. So we're not looking to spam, right? We're sending 2 emails to our personal network with the idea that some people will be raising their hand to get on a call with you, to get on your email list, to kind of, start to learn more about what you do, or they'll be replying to you about referrals or speaking engagements, right? That may help you. So that it's segmenting these folks. And then once again, then on your email list, you will be nurturing them. I have people who from that email got on my list and literally like a year later, Monique Eversley, Events for Business, right? She was my husband's best friend. She got my open for business email, and she literally attended every single webinar I did for a year until she finally was like, all right, Q, I'm ready. And then she just hired me again, like literally on Sunday. She was like, okay, I'm ready now to do this next level of work with you for a 90-day program that's worth a couple of $1,000s, right? So don't underestimate your network. My first year of business with this Black Women Rise, Black Women CEO, about 90% of my clients came from my family or friends. So I don't have that experience, and they did not ask for discounts. So I don't have that experience of like, my family's not supporting me or they want the discount. No, they respect me as an expert because of how I show up. And then they see I show up consistently, right? Because that's also building trust. And they're like, if they are ready to do that, all the time I have people who reach out to me, hey, when I thought about this, I thought about you, past colleague, right? So I want you all to be sought after. I know a lot of you have that desire. This is how it happens, right? So, and then that's the first step. And then for Alicia, particularly because she also has a community, you gotta start engaging this list, y'all. Content marketing, we're gonna talk about that, is so important. It's how you're giving people a taste test of what you know, and you're giving them solutions to their challenges. Now, this is not always how to, right? But we're doing why to content, and you learn that, like, you know, what mistakes are you making? Why you should start to see how you're causing your own drama, right? Or do your own inner work so that you can be a co-parent. So we're showing them our expertise and our analysis around something. And I tell all of you to get started is either think about common questions people ask you around your topic, right? And start answering them. That can be your weekly content. Another simple way to start content writing is to share a mistake, one myth, and one solution that person can have around this problem. But here's the key to content marketing. Have a call to action at the end. So if you're like, Quanisha, I've been doing lives, I've been doing content marketing, and it's not working, you didn't have probably an effective call to action. Call to actions are 1, to your strategy session, or 2, to your free offer. I call them honey jars so that they can get on your list. Right? Or if you're doing a workshop or whatever, that could be the call to action. So that's the revenue generating activity, right? That these people are coming into your customer journey and into your business system, right? By either getting directly on that sales, applying for that sales call, right? Or now coming into your email list and you're nurturing that relationship. And then through your emails, you're making asks, right? Hey, if this resonated with you, right, click here. In the subject, it may be like, I help people with so and so and so. And if you're ready to XYZ, click here to schedule your session, right? Or sign up for an upcoming webinar, or come to our workshop that's happening this month. So everything you create needs to have a call to action. And once again, depending on what you're creating and why, I can give you particularly what your call to action could be. But Alicia, for you now, your call to action should be to this strategy session. And just how I gave that advice to Jamie, you too, because you have an audience, may want to look to doing a paid workshop, right? Hey, are you an entrepreneur looking to write your book but getting stuck? We're having an upcoming workshop to help you create your outline, right? Or something like that. And then at the end, you can say, hey, you're getting stuck, or you want to get some more support in your outline and even maybe some coaching on how to write your book. Click here to schedule your session. So Alicia, very much what I told Jamie can work for you. And once again, many of you have like 20-minute sessions coming up, so we can either get in particular, or once again, you can post in a new post in the group. And as you all been seeing, I've been doing the coaching to y'all, virtual coaching. So that's how I can tailor more of that. So Alicia, I hope that helps you. Let me know in the group. All right, so that was Alicia's laser coaching. Even though she's not here, I'll let her know. And Marsha, look at that, Marsha. We're like right at 8 o'clock. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Awesome. So Marsha, you talked about, that you love coaching. However, now you want to figure out how to use all these years of schooling, training, for a real estate investment company. And you shared a little bit about the clients. And so there was a lot said, but what I wanted to hone in on, because the folks you shared, one thing I shared before you jumped on was that a client is not a soulmate client is not a soulmate client if they can't pay you.
Okay.
So the scenarios you gave me, because she talked about how like these people lost their house, lost their job, having credit issues, finance, and I was like, could they even pay for support?
Well,
go ahead.
You
said like, hey, I can help you figure out, and once again, we need to figure out what you would be helping them with. But if you're like, I can help you figure out XYZ, it's $1,000. Like, would they have $1,000 to pay you?
Okay. I mean, so I based the scenario on an ideal client in terms of what kind of issues my partner and I would want to deal with or to provide a solution to. And it's pretty much working with clients who are in the pre-foreclosure stage or even prior to that.
Okay.
And ideally, possibly doing a short sale versus going into foreclosure. And
Okay.
so with real estate, you know, you don't get paid prior to a transaction. So that's why I guess I was trying to figure out if it was possible to incorporate coaching and real estate, and how would that look like? How could I monetize that? What would services or products look like? And I didn't know if that was possible, or I just need to specifically just separate the two industries and just focus on just real estate. And if I still wanted to do coaching, just do that separately.
It is possible, but I think it needs to be clear on what you're helping people with, right? So I can give you a scenario, but I want to kind of dive into like what you particularly want to help people with. But the scenario could be one of my clients, Shakika, and her last name is leaving me. She is a real estate professional. And she wanted to build out a coaching business. So hers is Divas Doing Real Estate. And what she started to help people with was coaching to get ready for their first home, credit coaching, right, to repair your credit. And they may have some other things. So I'll share the link because she's kind of like built out a suite of stuff, and she does workshops and all these other things, right? So she's getting people ready, right? And some people might just want the coaching, right? The coaching and training and workshops. And then they would hire her as a real estate professional, right, to help with their next step. So coaching is a paid workshop where they're paying her just to help, say, with credit counseling, right, or to get their credit right, to then be prepared for the home buying. And then they go into the home buying, right? Or say it was the foreclosure thing, it may still be helping, hey, we have a service that can help you get your credit counseling together and take off stuff. And then simultaneously, we'll be helping with your short sale. So the credit counseling part is, you know, $500 or $750. You get a 1 hour session, or if you want us to work with you for 3 months, this is the investment for that. And then for the short sale, whatever that commission structure, you know that you'll be getting that commission on the end. So I just want to give you an example. Is that something generally, right, what you may be looking to do?
I don't know. I mean, I could honestly say, because, you know, as I had shared with you before, that I literally just decided that I wasn't interested in doing therapy anymore. And so, you know, because I'm focusing more on my real estate company and doing that work, I mean, I don't want to leave coaching behind. So I was trying to figure out how I can incorporate it, but I really have not thought it through. And at all.
Another question might be that scenario with Divas Doing Real Estate. Shakika, did that resonate with you in any way? I'm thinking like, oh, I can maybe see myself doing something like that or similar to that.
I mean, I could. I just feel like I would have to do some more training, because I am not familiar with a lot of the products that maybe she's providing.
Right.
I don't want to sit here and say like, oh yeah, I can help someone with credit counseling when I can't.
Right. So once again, it doesn't have to be that, but I would just, this idea of like, whatever you're helping people with, it may be like some coaching that they need prior or support before then they engage in a short sale or a real estate thing, right?
Right.
But what we want to figure out is what are the absolute problems, right? So while you said here, like their pain is, you know, they're behind on their mortgage, they don't have finances, they want to move to Florida, but they don't have it. I really didn't get out you know, what's the problem and what solution you would be providing them, right?
Well, the solution would be if we could determine whether they had equity in their home, then that could be something that we could be able to provide them. If they didn't have any equity in their home, how we would be able to do like a subject to where we would take over the payments for a certain amount of time so that they could at least catch up, and so that we wouldn't have to go into foreclosure. They wouldn't have to go into foreclosure, but that they would get something, even if it was $5,000 or $10,000, it would be something to go towards them moving to Florida. So that's
Okay.
something that an investor would be able to do for someone, depending on what the situation is in terms of the home and, you know, how far back they are in their payments, if there are any liens and things of that nature.
Okay. So when I was a community organizer, I actually did foreclosure prevention work, and we used to do counseling with them before
Okay.
they did their process, right? So one thing you could consider is that, like, say you're examining, helping people to figure out maybe why they got behind or how to rebudget, right? So they don't face the situation again. And then
Right.
you say, you know, we do this. One, we help you understand how you got here, right? And you may know, but, you know, sometimes we have attitudes about money that aren't helpful, right? Or
Right.
to know that this was a predatory loan, right? So you can say the first thing that we do with our clients that we're helping with, we have two options. Like, of course, as part of our real estate one-on-one or firm, we can just do your short sale and that's it, right? But we do offer services where we help you to think about how you're going to reach the goals that you have. So creating an effective budget, looking at how to prepare yourself for what you want, or have a game plan for your financial goals, while we're simultaneously helping you get your home together, right? So the investment, so we do have an investment for that coaching, right? It's $250 for this 2 hour or $500 for this 2 hour. We do have a payment plan for that. And then of course, if we help you get a product, right, or whatever, the short sale, that 3% commission will come from that, right? So of course, if you don't go for it, that's fine, but at least you leave with this, basically it's almost like financial counseling, right? At least you leave with a clear understanding of, you know, why this happened, some of the mindsets that can get in the way, whether that you haven't before or now, right? And to have a clear plan for getting to where you want to go, right? So maybe get an emergency fund, reestablishing your credit, right? One, you can have a questionnaire that helps them figure out what their top 3 challenges are, and you can say we can help you with number 1. From like, so the session that you would be having, this consultation session, which could be complimentary, right? Will be helping them to understand, like, okay, yeah, you want a short sale, but you also need some support with this. So at our real estate firm, we do the financial security strategy intensive, right? And these could also be workshops that you're doing with a whole bunch of people, right?
Right.
So you can either do it as a one-on-one. If you want one-on-one support, we definitely help with that. The investment for that package starts at $1,000. But if you know you want to do this in a group, right, that's a $250 investment. We have a 2-pay payment plan, and we do these workshops once a quarter or every other quarter. The next one is blah, 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 blah. You can put your deposit today, hold your space, and we can go forward. So once again, I can come up with a whole bunch of scenarios, but how would that sound, right?
That sounds awesome, actually.
Yeah. So it sounds like we have
I really
for you.
I mean, that definitely sounds awesome. I'm driving, so I can't write notes, but I
Yeah,
definitely
you don't
want
have
to
to
go back
record
and,
them.
you know, write some stuff down and, you know, just really kind of like brainstorm. But that definitely sounds awesome.
Yeah. So if you feel secure in helping people to make a plan, to know how, like, and your counseling, this is where your counseling and therapy background, like, is like the CBT, right? How you got here, what you've been thinking about money.
Right.
It's almost like that money makeover, right? Like having more effective the thoughts about money, knowing how to budget. Like, once again, you can look even at the scenario and say, what would I need to teach them now, or what would they have needed to know to not even be in the situation? And that,
Right. Or repeat the process again.
yeah, not be in this place again, right? And it's okay to charge people for that. There are nonprofits who charge people for this, and they tell people before we can, do your, they even make a requirement sometimes, like, to participate in our, Save Your Home program. You got to start with this 2-hour intensive. The investment for that is $99 or $250, right? And once again, if you're doing this as a workshop, people can pay less, right? If you want to make it more accessible. And some people, even though they may have, I found this out a lot of times, that like people got into foreclosure, but they have money, right? So if somebody wants your private support, right? Like, hey, we can do this one-on-one or in group. Which one do you think might be best for you? And they might be like, oh, I want private attention. It's like, okay, great. The investment for that is either you can pay in full for $997, or you can pay in installments, and it'll be 3 payments of $500. And some people might be like, "Ooh, I can't do that." It's like, okay, well then it sounds like the group option may be more accessible for you. So the credit counseling class that we do is $250. Once again, you can pay that in full. But if you need a 3-pay or 2-pay payment plan, you will put a deposit down for today for $100, and then there's 2 more payments of $100. That's if you want to do a finance chart. So sometimes I'm doing this feminist marketing, and it's all about not charging people because they need a payment plan. So you can say, all right, then it's 3 payments of $75, whatever that is to get to $250, right? So but think about it. If you had 10 people in a workshop, we talked about this earlier on the call, and it was 2 to 4 hours, and you got paid. Say yours is that $250 because you're doing a lot. Like the value of financial coaching, right, can save them thousands of dollars down the road. If it's $250 to attend the course and you got 10 people, that is $2,500 for 2 to 4 hours of your time. Would anyone else like $2,500 for 2 to 4 hours of their time?
Right.
With that,
Right.
And imagine if you were doing that every month, all right, or every 2 months, and that would be gravy on top of then the commission work if people want to go forward with you and your husband actually doing the short sale for them, or whatever the foreclosure or negotiating with the bank or whatever.
Right.
How does that sound? How does that resonate?
Okay. That sounds pretty amazing.
And it
really does. I mean,
this is how you can cheat.
Say that again.
I said this is how you can cheat about what your curriculum should be. There are tons of foreclosure programs, right, that nonprofits do for free. So go get some pamphlets, right, or search up foreclosure support in your city and get an idea of what they are teaching these people. And so everyone, this is not copying them, right? Because they may say the first class is budget, like we do budgeting, we do financial planning, and how to make an emergency fund, whatever. But it will be your take on the issue, right? And how you think people should go about. But once again, you can see, all right, people are signing up for this intensive that covers this, this, and this. We are going to cover this, this, and this too, but we're going to tailor it to what we think, right? People should know about, or the first step is mindset, right? So that's the difference, y'all. Y'all can look up whether it's programs that nonprofits do or other people do, just to get an idea of like, okay, like for example, Jamie talked about co-parenting. What are some other co-parenting companies are doing? Like on their sales page, looking at the description of like, okay, these seem to be what people may need. How would I talk about budgeting, right? Or what are the exercises I would take people through to get in touch with their love self, right? So that's how you tailor it to you, but you can see kind of what's already in the market, and don't do their pricing. And I'm not saying copy their pricing, because once again, we are high value leaders. So we are doing higher value stuff. But you can once again see like, what are they doing? Is there a need for it? And those pieces. And don't be afraid to call and be an investigator. Like, hey, I'm kind of interested in exploring the financial counseling intensive. What are some of the things that are covered in that?
Right.
All right. Thank you for the information. I can just go about, your business. So what do you think about that?
I mean, I think that's pretty awesome. I actually did start a PowerPoint because we wanted to do like and of course we're stealing the name, but like a level up event, but it was like a workshop where or not even more like an expo where we had people come in, different experts from different areas come in and speak, real estate related, and then have vendors who we could go into business, vendors like contractors and plumbers and things of that nature. So if they were there, representing their company in order to get customers, we would figure out some kind of commission, so to speak. But we just couldn't figure out, and I have it where we were breaking it down by topic, and talking about entrepreneurism in real estate, talking about foreclosure prevention, the myths about foreclosure and pre-foreclosure, because we often found that a lot of people get these notices and they walk away from their home not realizing that you don't have to walk away.
Okay.
And so just teaching people about that, but we just really didn't know. I'm like, okay, how do we price that? How do we
So there's different ways to do it. So if it was like an
Right.
expo like that, you could do very much like a $15, $10 entry fee, or you could have it
Right.
at no cost because you want the volume to come in, right? And
Right.
so the vendors, one, you could sell vendor spaces, so even that's making money for you to reserve the space. And then often when people do that, then there's not a commission on the referrals, but or you can say, hey, we'll give you complimentary spaces, but any referrals that come from this, and once again, you want to have a contract with
Right.
the referrals that come or people who use this password, it'll be a 20%, referral or something like that. Often it's better to just charge them for the space, right? Like $200 or $300 for a vendor table.
Okay.
So that's one thing you can consider. But if they want to be like an ongoing relationship partner that you refer people to, then you may want to have like that JV partnership or referral partnership. That
Right.
anyone that we refer to you for contracting, right? We get a 20% finder's fee or whatever. But that workshop, because so one, the vendors are there's revenue coming in that way. And then the other thing is you're doing your info on, mistakes, myths, and the solution, right? To this foreclosure stuff. And then you're promoting your workshop or your services, right?
Right.
So so everything that we talked about today, this can be the closing we help with. So if you go to our table,
Right.
in the back, you can sign up for a complimentary, either a complimentary get your foreclosure life right strategy session, clarity session, or you can go ahead and just pay the deposit or the tuition, whatever, for our upcoming foreclosure prevention workshop. Right?
Okay.
Have two people at the table. If you want the strategy sessions or if you want to sign up for the workshop, or everyone who signs up for our upcoming workshop is actually going to get a 20-minute complimentary foreclosure assessment, right? And doing that foreclosure assessment, I don't know if you heard me say this, that's when you can say, hey, this is the one tip I want to give you on how to move forward. But if you want us to support you with this privately, so this is how we can help. Does that sound like your best next step? And then the investments for that. And in our courses, I'm going to put up the strategy session script. But that's how you can get this volume in, right? Of course, you're talking about the topics, but that call to action is either directly sign up for the course that's coming up, and then everyone that signs up today will get that complimentary session. So then you're getting the revenue in. And then once again, you're having everyone already pre-scheduled for almost like a strategy session call to then explore if they want to go further with you.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan?
Yeah, I like that. It does. I'm excited. I can't wait to write this all out.
Yeah, I'm glad everyone's going to get paid strategies. Like, I want to try to get paid, right? Like,
They will. I want to get paid too.
Right? Get money in the door.
Yes.
Business models, everybody. Well, let me just check in. Marsha, do you have any more questions?
For right now, no. I might later.
Okay, she's like,
Hearts and minds are clear.
Honey, I got 5 ways we can make money.
Oh wait, I don't know. Though my partner is not my husband. My partner is a friend
Oh, okay, sorry.
in the business. No, that's okay. Okay, but I still can go home and tell the husband. That's okay.
Yeah, like homegirl, homeboy, we got a plan going forward. All right.
Right.
So everyone, we're going to talk about business models, and there's 2 business models. There's like the freemium model where people come in for free, right? The free strategy sessions, the free offers, and then they're paying then for the premium level of your services, right? Or the access. And then there's the low cost model where you're having once again that low cost workshop or like an expo, right? Where people are paying just something, right, to come in. And this is how you segment buyers, right? So whether it's browsers to buyers or audience to buyers, right? You're segmenting people who in some way say, I pay for information, right? Or I pay to get support. And then at those events, at those workshops and events, then you can share, hey, this is the next level if you want more one-on-one support, or we have a 90-day boot camp, right? And here's the, fee for that. So that's how you get people in the door who are buyers. And then those who are ready to take the next step, right? Everybody won't be ready. Often it's like 20% will sign up, but I've had bigger conversion numbers than that, right? And once again, these can be for the $9.97 course or coaching. It can be for the couple of $1,000 stuff. Like I've literally had people sign up for a $97 offer and then sign up for a 5K program, right? After like 4 hours with me. So, you know, it's not unheard of because they got the taste test. They even thought like, shit, I need more help, right? And then they sign up for more coaching, right? Because they got to like, know, and trust you through this workshop. And they're like, she looks like she can help me. So I want to know. Right, so those are the two business model formats that I want you all to use. I particularly have honed in on the pay something, right? The low cost entry that you pay. And then once again, at the end, you're offering people, hey, if you're still stuck and you want support, here's how I can help you, right? Here's how I can help you. All right, so those are like the laser coaching that came in, but I'm committed to at least being on the line for like if someone who didn't sign up for pre-coaching has a question. So Lisa, Shirley, I know you said you had some questions. Shirley was here first. So Shirley, what's going on with you and what is your question? You got to unmute yourself. Okay.
Actually, Cornisha, you answered a lot of my questions.
She's like, I'm fine.
No, I'm not actually fine, but I want to pass something by you because I came up with a great idea from how you were consulting with the other ladies. Okay, so my partner and I were trying to come up with our ideal client, and we would like them to be somebody who's already has a pretty decent or high level, at least a medium level of spirituality. At least they're meditating daily. They're open to like perhaps going on the path of enlightenment. They're willing to pay, invest in themselves. The spirituality is a commitment to them, and they're really into self-development. And so when we were talking about our ideal client, I was asking him, okay, so what kind of problem are we solving? And so, so I came up with this idea of like having a one-on-one life coaching about moving from what I call breath to breath. This idea of being in a state of complete peace throughout the day, and coaching them through how to practically create that, from moving from one activity to the next, moving from one peaceful activity to the next, and having a state of bliss, or having a state of serenity, or having a state of joy and throughout the day. And that's so that he was saying that he felt like we needed to do more structuring around, more work around that. And his idea was that we say whatever you would like to work on, not whatever you'd like to work on, but whatever, using the client's language, kind of like whatever you need to work on, whatever change you're looking for in life, we can help you with that. And I felt like that was too broad, and we got into this big conversation about that, and we got stuck.
Okay. So I can definitely give you clarity on it. Neither one of you are wrong per se, but I realized I skipped Raquel. I wrote down everything that you just said, so I'm gonna come back to you because I want to honor that she kind of submitted her question ahead of time, and it was okay in her 90-day program. But I wrote down everything you said, and I do have suggestions. So Raquel, my apologies because I didn't bold your name in my notes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I missed Raquel. So Raquel, you wanted to talk about perfecting your 90-day program, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you said you put some questions in to answer some of my questions in the is it in the event, or is it on the main page?
I do believe it's on the event where we all are supposed to click if we're going to attend.
Okay, now I see it. Okay, so Raquel wanted perfecting her 90-day session. So let me just read this really fast, and then we can check in. So the 30-minute session, 3 areas you're coaching is self-love, effective communication, and relationships. You're going to give 2 to learn how to get clarity on how you feel about yourself, how powerful your words are towards yourself. And along with that, what does it mean in a relationship? The transformational outcome provided. It all depends on the client that's willing to do the work. You learn the true meaning of self-love, the power that it brings to every area of your life. You'll never settle for less than your heart's desire. You'll communicate in love when the conversation is challenging and give your feelings a voice. Learning all of this will enrich your relationships, including the one within. How many sessions? There will be 3 sessions a month, also as needed throughout the month. Each session is 30 or 60 minutes. The bonus is extra time in each coaching session as needed so that reaching your goals will be effective and your needs are met. For local clients, I may add a massage session as well. Okay, this sounds good. Let me ask you, just because you probably did this in the client clarity. Your soulmate client, just in like 2 sentences, what is their problem? What is the solution you're providing? So like, what is like the number one thing? And if you can use the exact words that your soulmate client is struggling with, what would that be?
The main thing is thinking of love as it just being an emotion.
Okay.
That's I feel is a lot of people's misconception about love, and definitely loving them and
So
loving themselves.
Let me pause you right there. When I'm laying up at night,
Okay.
looking out my ceiling, it's 2:00 in the morning, I'm pretty sure I'm not saying, I think love is an emotion, I gotta fix this. What are they saying? Like, what's keeping them up at night?
The bad relationship after bad relationship. And
Okay. That's what you're selling, right? That's
okay.
So we sell people what they want and we give them what they need, everybody. So me, Quanisha, right, or your ideal client is actually up at night saying, I'm tired of being in bad relationship after bad relationship. And I get that. I was there like 10 years ago, right? Where you're like, why can't I get this fucking shit right? I keep attracting these horrible people. What's going on, right? Can everyone relate to that when you've been like, shit, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be single, or like that asshole, or she the asshole, whatever it is, right? Is that kind of what your people are?
Yes.
Okay.
That's part of it. I think I wanted to start with the self-love so that this helps to change the narrative.
So I want you to
and your perspective so that you stop
right
running into those.
Pause right there, because I'm giving you the business part, right?
Okay.
The struggle that your soulmate client is having is that they're tired of having bad relationship after bad relationship. That's what they want the problem for, right? That your business is situated to help people to stop having bad relationship after bad relationship, right?
Right.
The solution that they need, right? The what's missing, that right in the questionnaire, like what is missing, what they need, is that they need to explore their self-love, right? Maybe what are they thinking about themselves? Because a lot of people think, oh, I just need to, it's them, right? But it's like, no, are you valuing yourself? Are you worthy, right? So that's your analysis as the expert. Like, the first thing is, we got to figure you out first, right? And how you're loving yourself so that you feel worthy enough to attract a worthy partner, right? Someone who respects you. And, we attract kind of what we are, right? And so if you want something different, we got to like help fix you, right? Not fix you, but help you to get to another level. And then we also, like you said, teaching like effective communication, like all these other things, right? So that's your unique genius, right? That's your signature process. That people need to go through X, Y, Z to even get into this place that they stop attracting bad relationships, right?
Right.
So the problem that your soulmate client is dealing with is they are continuously having bad relationships and they're ready, right? You want the person who is ready to stop that cycle.
Right.
That's the pain. That's the pain that's going to make them buy. Right? Most people are not in this, well, not true. That's the frustration and pain, but the pleasure they may be seeking is to have healthy relationships, to be in a relationship that feels great, right? With a partner who honors and cherishes and respects them, right? So it could be ready. Are you ready to have a relationship that feels like is exactly for you, right? You're with someone who you respect. So you can definitely, there are people who want that vision. So I'm not saying that's not why people buy. But it's like that pain and wanting to move from that pain to that place of, oh my God, I feel good about this. I'm happy, right? I found someone who's uniquely for me, or everything that I wanted, or whatever like that. So that's the business part of it. And Shirley, this kind of touches on, right? We got to get to that. What are people up at 2 a.m.? So anytime y'all are changing your service or you're trying to get more refinement, go to the 2 a.m., the person that is really praying, like, oh my gosh, if I could just get rid of this issue. Okay? Does that help, Raquel? Like that. So this is the business side.
Right.
All right. So that's kind of what you would market, right? All this stuff around these bad relationships, you try to arguing with your current partner or future partner. The key is that is to start exploring your relationship with yourself.
Right.
Okay. So that's probably some of the, and once again, from your own experience and when you start doing the market research, you can get their language around this, right?
Right.
So that's the first thing. I just wanted you to see how that structure is. Okay. And then what do you feel like is not perfect, or do you just want my general assessment around the process you're taking people through?
Well, I mean, whatever you feeling that you need to say about it. I mean, I'm open to hear about it. I may not remember everything that you say, but I want to at least have an idea from your professional perspective.
Okay. So now that we know kind of like what the core pain is, right? And then kind of what your solution is, or like kind of where they want to go, right?
Right.
How you bridge the gap, right? So now your signature process is going to be helping them bridge the gap. So the complementing strategy session, right? We are going to want to brand that, right? So it may be a relationship assessment, right? Or, sign up for your complimentary, we can figure out, depending on what you name your signature program. I'm not sure if you put the title here. Did you have a title for it based on the signature offer worksheet?
I'm wavering between, right now it's just going to be the 90-day program. I got to add another name to that so that they know what type of 90-day program that it is.
What's your business name again?
Raquel's Coaching and Massage.
Okay, so nothing about relationships or self-love or anything?
I haven't yet made like a business card with that on it, but that is on my life coach page.
What's on your life coach page?
Life coaching, coaching any areas of self-love, effective communication, and relationship.
Okay. So when I talk about branding, we want, once again, sometimes this can come from your client language. But for you, it could be, because these are people who are challenging relationships. It could be soulful relationship clarity call, right? How to get, we'll talk about in this clarity call, what may be holding you back from having a soulful relationship, or a relationship that matters, or a relationship that aligns, right? Or something like that. We can figure out what you got to play with some language, right? But your program can be the 90-day relationship alignment coaching program, right? Or attract. Someone had a relationship one. I forgot what we named hers. Not that you would have to copy it, but yeah, we can figure it out. It could be healthy relationships 101, or love your mate, right? 90-day coaching program, right? Or find your ideal mate, or find your soulmate, right? 90-day coaching program. And it's okay to make that bold promise that this program is going to put you in the position to find your soulmate.
Okay.
Right? Like, I want y'all all to think about what you've been doing for free, or think about what you've done for yourself. So some of you have seen me say in workshops, like, if you implement this work, you can get a client within 30 days. And that's because people have done that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start mentioning this, because this happens over and over again, right? So don't be afraid to say, like, this is a 90-day Find Your Soulmate coaching program, or intensive, right? And we offer 30-minute Find Your Soulmate clarity sessions. During the session, we're going to discover what may be getting in the way of you finding your soulmate, right? And it could be a lot of things. Maybe they didn't define what their soulmate are, or they don't even know, like, what they've been doing in relationships, right? Like, once again, from the strategy session call, clarity session call, you'll have an idea on, once again, it could be the communication, right? They may have had horrible relationship with their parents, and they're attracting their daddy all the time. Like, who knows, right?
Yes. Yes. That's it.
Coaching,
yep,
so
that's it.
I'm like, I know all this messed up stuff that happens, right? I can tell you, like, relationship coaching with my husband before we got married. Lord. Anyway. So if you want to do some market research, I could be one of your calls, right? And so now that you have that clarity session, and once again, you're the expert, you know probably what may come up, right, as some of the common challenges. And so that's good. You're gonna get this assessment, and then you know if they're ready, what you'll be walking them through. It looks like how to get clarity on how they feel about themselves. That's one of the steps. How powerful your words are towards yourself. So effective communication, right? Along with the meaning of relationship. So it may be like clarity. I'm trying to put some of these steps together. So first, I actually suggest you do an assessment, which you may already do, right? You want to get an assessment maybe on, what are some of the things you tell yourself about relationships? How would you describe the worst relationship you ever had, right? So you may want to have some questions on an assessment. So is that one of the first things you would be doing with people?
Yeah, because I haven't written that out only because it's going to be different for each client.
Okay. So one thing I suggest is that you actually have a standard assessment.
Okay.
And I can share, and once again, it wouldn't be the same, but when I do my profit planning sessions, and actually when people come on for private coaching, everybody fills out the same new client questionnaire, because you want to know, because once again, their answers are going to change, but you genuinely need to know maybe 3 or 5 of the same things. Right. Okay. And so I wouldn't deviate and, give them different things. Actually write down, what are maybe the 5 or 6 things I would need to know to even then customize a plan for somebody. Right. So for most of you, particularly those who are doing private coaching, having a pre-client questionnaire, right? I want you all to think about, and it doesn't have to be 20 questions. It could be 5, right? I think I have 7 or something. What I ask everyone is a Google form. They fill it out. And then at the last question, I say, based on what you put today, right? What is the number one thing you want us to discuss in your profit planning session? So for me, the profit planning session is my bite-sized offer, right? If y'all watch the Create Your Signature Offer. And for my 90-day program clients, they start out with the profit planning session. So some people can pay just for the assessment. That's the bite-sized offer, right? And I give them a clear plan. So that could be for yours too. That could be your bite-sized offer, the assessment and the plan, right? In a 2-hour intensive. But then people who want the full coaching, right, you still start with that same intensive and assessment. So once again, I encourage you. And once again, this can be refined, right? You may say oh, I wish I actually asked them these extra questions, because that would have given me even more clarity before the call. So you can always add questions to your pre-client assessment. I literally just filled out an assessment. I just signing up for another mastermind intensive, and it took me 20 minutes to fill this out. I just signed up for this health coaching, and that literally took me 2 days to fill it out, right? So whatever process you need to know, and literally I had to put what I ate for the last 3 days. And I was and she told me this will take you 90 minutes to complete, right? So whether short or long. So I don't want any of you to be afraid, this, and once again, it will be refined as you go along. What information do you need to know that will save you time? But for me, when I was first doing these VIP sessions, they were just called VIP sessions. This was where I was piloting it. I was asking people, I was doing it live. And then I figured out shit, I could put this in a form and have this information. This way we can just go right into based on what you said, or let me get more clarity on question 1. You said this, tell me more about it. Right. So you send a new client questionnaire once they pay, right, that they say they want to do your program. Part of that welcome can be, here's your new client questionnaire. And also here's the link to schedule your session, right? Your first assessment, this 90-minute or 2-hour session, right? They do the assessment and they have to hand it in or finish it at least 24 to 48 hours before the call. If you do not have it, you can send a reminder, because sometimes 24 hours before, I say, hey, I don't have your form. We will have to reschedule your 90-minute session if I don't have this. I need you to fill this out, right? And they do. If they don't, then it's okay, we got to reschedule this because I don't have what I need to help you, right? So assessment, they hand the assessment in, and then during that call, that's when you can tailor it, right? You can say, well, based on what you said, we're going to be doing this or honing in on this. when we do the clarity on how you feel about yourself, right? We're going to hone in on this fact that you didn't have a healthy relationship with your aunt, right? That you think you're a piece of shit, right? All these things that you wrote truthfully in here, and we're going to give you healthier thoughts, right? So that's what we'll be working on when we get to that step. Also, I noticed that blah, 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 blah. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to like belabor the point.
Yeah.
So assessment, then
Right.
the first session that you have is kind of debriefing that assessment and saying, based on this is the plan, or this is what we're going to focus on going forward. Everyone, this is what you all can do. These are the steps that you all can do, just being tailored to your offer. So I always suggest for the 90-day coaching programs, everyone starts with some type of assessment questionnaire. During that first call, you're getting more clarity, and then you're giving them an idea on what we're going to work on, right? So after that, but then you will go through your process. So you said 3 calls a month. So, you know, the clarity on themselves, and you know, that's where your coaching comes in, on how you help people do that, or reframing their thoughts, all that other stuff. The next month, or maybe the next series, is once again that communication. How are you communicating with yourself, and then how are you communicating with others? And then the third thing that you could be doing is, now we go into what is a meaningful relationship is like, and then how to attract it. Right. So you can say on the call now, you have someone on the call who's had bad relationships, and you're like, oh, I think you're perfect for my Discover Your Soulmate 90 or Find Your Soulmate 90-day program. What I take you through is a 3-step process, right? Because you know it's the part on your self-love, effective communication, and then a plan to find a relationship. I take you through a 3-step process to help you, one, get clarity on who you are. This is actually a piece, this is as if I'm selling it to you. This is actually a piece that many people don't know in having an effective relationship. We got to explore who you are, how you talk about yourself, what you think communication is, before we can even do the work to attract your client, right? And so that's the feature and benefit, right? Because you have to love yourself to find someone who loves you. The second step is effective communication. You can say, have you, like, or one thing you mentioned was that sometimes you struggle to have the words, right, to connect with the partner. We are actually going to work through that. So one, how you're talking about yourself, and part B of step 2 is how you then effectively communicate with potential partners and then your actual partner. And then step 3 is, what does it mean to have a meaningful relationship? And then what does that particularly look like for you, so you know what it looks like when you have it. Those are the 3 steps, and there's a whole lot more. We do this over a 90-day period. We do about 3 coaching sessions a month. The sessions will be about 30-minute laser coaching sessions. The bonuses is that, and we got to change this bonus, but the bonus is that you get virtual coaching sessions, and because you're local, actually come and do our Find Your Soulmate Client Love Massage, so you know how it feels to be taken care of and loved on and, you know, nurtured. And so that's the package. How does that sound? Does it sound like it's a fit for you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think
yes.
Yeah, definitely think that will work. I'm not a fast writer, so is there any way that you can send that or copy of what you sent to me?
This is the recording.
Okay.
So you have this.
Okay.
So
Okay.
but once again, some of you, when I share in the training that feature benefit, that's the feature, right? You have virtual coaching. So even as you're struggling, or even as you're starting to implement some of the things that I'm teaching you, you always have access to me to help you work through a challenge, right? If you feel like your negative self-talk is happening, I want you to message me, right? I want you to email me so I can remind you who you are and remind you of what the more empowering beliefs are as you start to do the dating, right? So for you, I think what would be helpful is, one thing I do as a bonus, and I share this in the thing, is a 30-day check-in, right? So you kind of are there holding their hand. That's the do it with me, right? That's why what your people mind. They want you to do this with them. And then there's a 30-day period where I'm like, now you are the little eagle and you're flying by yourself. And in 30 days, we're going to check in to see how it goes. See how it went. Because that's also a good call to say, hey, do you still feel stuck? Or now that you feel like you got a good handle on this, are you ready for the next part? Right? Because some of them may be like, well, I spent the 30 days focusing on myself, but I think I still want to have your support with actually doing the dating part. And it's like, all right, well, let's do another 30 days together.
Right.
Right? So that 30-day check-in is a great bonus, right? And I position it as, I don't just leave you alone, right? We check in 30 days. So you know that the support is still there. So I would be careful about the extra time. And once again, that's extra time. It's like a bonus 30-minute session, right?
Right.
But I really want you to be clear on the session begins and ends. Is it a 30-minute call, a 45-minute call, or a 60-minute call, right? Because you're, have you done this level of coaching before? I can't remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
If you feel like effectively you can help someone in 30 minutes, let it be 30 minutes, right? When I suggest 60-minute calls is if you're teaching in the call and then you're coaching in the call. But if you have modules, you're going to send them ahead of time, because this is what I did. I noticed, once again, I was doing 60-minute calls. I noticed that I was teaching the same things, and I decided to record it. That's why I have all these trainings, right? I was like, instead of me repeating this over and over again, I'm going to record it in Keynote and say, and I would literally send them the video. It was like an unlisted YouTube video before I had them all up on the website. And I said, this is the video you need to watch before we do step 2. So in preparation for our laser coaching session, they got to process it, do the work on their own. So I didn't need to talk to you for an hour. It's a 30-minute laser session, right? So your first 1 or 2 people, you may say, all right, it's 60 minutes because I'm actually going to record the teaching parts and make sure they're not talking, because then I can repurpose that video, that part of the teaching video, and not share the laser coaching part, right? And if you don't know how to do that, you can have someone from Fiverr edit the video and say, hey, I want you to save the first 20 minutes as an independent video. And then, of course, to honor that person's anonymity, the last 30 minutes where you're doing the coaching, I don't want that included, right? Okay. And then that 20 minutes can now become, when the second person comes, they got a video to watch. So that's what I would suggest, that if you can do these in 30 minutes and it's laser coaching because they get in the materials ahead of time to help them, then do that.
Okay.
Like 30 to 45 minutes, y'all. Right? So my only suggestion would be set a set time, because people need a beginning and an end. You need a beginning or an end, because you know that when we're there helping people, we can look up and it's 3 hours later. That's not maximizing your time, right? Okay. So everybody, when you're having sessions, beginning and end, and I encourage you all, those 30-minute laser coaching sessions are great. Right. And once again, I can tailor this to some of you. I'll tell y'all maybe what you need to probably pre-record so that you can really hone in on the 30-minute session. So that's one thing I would suggest. So if it's 3 sessions a month, 3 30-minute sessions a month. Right. And I kind of just say 3 laser coaching sessions a month. We really hone in on what that strategy is. We tend to it so that then you can move on. Right. That's how I even position the laser coaching as an effective thing. We're not doing therapy. We're doing effective laser coaching, right? So that's that. And I'm kind of, once again, I'm saying this for Raquel, but I'm saying this for everybody. That's why I'm kind of stretching these points out, y'all. So the sessions, I would suggest 30 laser coaching. If you're teaching in them, maybe that first 1 or 2, they're 60 minutes, like that client. And then once you get that stuff repurposed, then the next time you sell that for the third person, you tell them the 60-minute sessions. And you may be able to even do less sessions a month. So you can say we have a bi-weekly laser coaching session, right? So you'll get your call, and then the next week, that's when you can really use the virtual coaching, because we'll check in, right? And then we have our call the following week. So that's one way you could do it. The bonuses, so that 30-day check-in call, I think would be a great bonus for you. Once again, like you said, if they're local, you could do the massage, or maybe they get a gift certificate towards a massage, right? As a bonus. Another bonus you may want to consider is, how to think about this. So it's relationship stuff. Do you have any like books or like meditative recordings, any like of that type of assets?
A lot, not actual books, but I do have some of my like relationship, love, loss of love, relationship experiences in the books I've written, my poetry books that I've written.
Okay, so a bonus can be you get my poetry book.
Okay.
Right? So one thing you get as a bonus too is how long is it? How many pages?
The first book is about 57 pages. The second book is, I think, 58 pages. It's not
okay. How much do you sell them for? as a standalone?
The first book is about $10. And the second book would be $30.
Girl, we may need to increase these books if they're like that long, right? But we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But you can say as a bonus, you get my 2 books, right? You get my, 75 page or 50 something page Love Yourself book. You get my, 60 page with effective affirmations and poems, so that even as we're going along, you have a resource that's affirming you along the way. So that could be a bonus, right? They get mailed, and that could be one of the welcome gifts, right? So there's 2 ways to talk about this. So either you could send them a welcome gift and you don't even tell them that it's a bonus, right? So they get this care package, because often what I do for my private clients, they get a journal, they get a Black Woman CEO mug and like a tea set or something, right? And they don't know what's coming. So I just say, oh, make sure you give me your mailing address, and then they get the set, right? So they can get you 2 books, right? And a little love note, like, I'm so happy that we'll be working together, and here are my 2 books to help you along the way, right? So you can either do that as a welcome gift they don't know about, or you can either tell them that it's a bonus. So you can say, right when you sign up, one of the first things you get is, the books, right? We'll mail you those books so that you have that, and maybe a journal, right? Or maybe the bonus is they get the journal, right? The welcome gift is the journal, but they get in the book. So I think the 30-day check-in and the books can be just the 2 bonuses that are effective. What do you think about that?
That sounds great. I mean, what the I forget, what did you say about the massage offer I had?
So for the local folks, if you know this person is local, you can say you also get a gift certificate for like a 90-day
gift certificate. Yeah, that's
like a 90-minute massage session that's effective for like, maybe it's like a 6-month expiration date or whatever. Because I was trying to think if that's something that you want to give consistently. So if someone's not near you, you could give them like, I always say if you're giving a client a gift, let it be around $50, right? Because maybe it's a $25 gift card towards a massage, right? But if they're local, then they can use that same gift card towards the massage with your company. Or like you said, you could just give them the complimentary 60-minute massage.
Right.
But massage is usually not $25. So it could be like built into your pricing that you give folks $100, right? Because how much is like a 60-minute massage with you?
55.
Okay. So maybe it's $75 so they can tip, right?
Yeah.
And everybody gets a $75 gift card. And if they're local, you can say, hey, I want you to redeem this with me, right? But you can say, if you're local, you can actually use it with me. And, you'll get, so maybe they get a 90-minute, right? If they're local, but you're giving them that time off, right? So they're getting $75, but now they're getting more value because it's a 90-minute massage. But you could decide that, right? You could say 60 or 90 minutes, but it can still be a bonus because even if they're not local, you're sending part of the pricing, right? is that you send them this $75 like Visa gift card towards a massage because you want them to have that self-love nurturing experience. So once again, the bonus is you can be, and as a bonus, you get a 30-minute check-in session. So I don't just leave you alone. You go implement and then we check in. Also, as another bonus, you get my books, right? So that even as we're going along, you have these affirmations and words of empowerment around relationships with yourself and others. And then the last thing, I call it my nurture yourself, right? Bonus is that I actually treat you to I give you a $75 gift card to put toward the actual massage. And I encourage you to schedule this during our 90 days or your first 30 days so that you know what it feels like to be nurtured. And so I don't want you to have any barriers to that. So you get a $75 or $100 gift card, right, for that. And once again, you want to build that into your pricing so that you know, like, okay, this is why it's $3,100 because I'm using that $100 to buy their gift card. How does that feel as like the offer?
That sounds great. And I would have never thought to do it in that combination. I mean, I had some ideas of how I wanted to do the coaching and the massage together, but I hadn't got to that point yet.
Yeah, so they're not local, they're still having that experience you want them to have, right? And all the benefits of getting a massage for themselves.
Right.
And that can come, so either they if they're local to you, you want to say, you know, I encourage you to use the gift card with me, right? So that I can help you. But once again, I'm giving you that. It's not an obligation. But when you actually use it with me, I give you a 90-minute instead of the 60-minute for the gift card, you know, for the Amex card or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, so what you had here was great. I just kind of reframed it for like in the way that you can sell it, right? So you're taking them through a 3-step process, right? So you start with the assessment, and then the 3 steps is the self-love part, the effective communication, and then that clarity on what does a meaningful relationship look like for you and how to get it. Then the bonuses, right? You do that over 90 days, 2 to 3 sessions a month. Once again, be very specific about those sessions, because you want to be specific about that in your contract, and say these, you know, after 90 days, if you haven't claimed your sessions, you forfeit it, right? Like, I learned this the hard way. Don't let it linger. Don't be soft and be like, okay, unless something dire happens, or you may give them 4 months to, you know, to get other sessions, but it's a 90-day program. Right. And the bonuses are that 30-day check-in call. You get my books to support you. And I actually want to encourage you to get massages, right? So you'll get a Visa gift card or a MasterCard gift card for $75 to get your own massage. And because you live in my city or whatever, actually, because you can say that usually covers a 60-minute massage, but if you use it at my location, I actually give you a 90-minute massage, right? For the price of a 1-hour massage or something like that. But yeah, this looks great. So I just kind of reframed it so that, you know, it's just a good way, you know, the language that you would use to sell it.
Okay.
But how are you feeling?
It feels great. I feel great. I'm really excited and ready to reframe it all so that, you know, it's sellable. That's my thing, is I want to make sure that it's something that's going to attract my soulmate clients, those who are willing to do the work, and also that it really resonates with them and they're ready. You know?
Yeah, and so when you get the strategy session script, that's what asking them, like, does it sound like this is a fit? And then asking them, tell me why. Right. So then also you get that kind of reinforcement of like, this is perfect for everybody. Right. So this is one thing that you all will learn. And I'll say this in the training, that I've never had anyone tell me, Quanisha, I don't see the value in what you're offering. If someone didn't buy, it's because they made the assessment that they couldn't make that investment at that time. But it was never like, oh, girl, you charging too much. Right. It was like, damn, this is a steal. Let me figure it out. Right. So that's what I want you all to do. So some of you have had sales and people are like, oh, that's too much. I don't know. It's because you haven't really positioned it in a way that they see the value of what, and sometimes we have to believe in it ourselves. Right. So I think this is a great program. What were you thinking about for the investment for this?
The investment, I was thinking $2,000. I'm not sure if that's the right pricing, only because this is a 90-day program. I'm open to suggestions, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start. So often I want you, like, sometimes we need to build our confidence and also get clients for it. So, I mean, you could start with asking for 3 and then let them know, like, hey, the value is, the program is $3,000, but if you know you want to get started, you can either do a pay in full for $2,500, or you can do the payment plan. And once again, you all can decide if you want to add, the payment plan is $1,000 a month, right? So we work through this.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just trying to get that down, but yeah, that sounds good. I really wanted to give the same opportunity that you gave me. I have been seeing so many different programs that all of them sounds fabulous. Everything sounds like it will work perfect, but it was $1,500 or, you know, $2,500. And it's like, dude, I want to invest, but that's just not in the budget. So when you came with this program, I said, finally, there's someone who's willing to help, you know, help me get off the ground first. And if we keep our connections, then you're offering more, then I have more to invest.
Right.
Give me a chance to get something going for myself, and then I can invest even more, not just in myself and in my business and what I'm offering, but also help or invest in what you're offering, so that you can help someone else.
And that's when you all can have a trajectory in your business. So when I started out, it was these sessions, right? I did 90 days. It was like $1,400. And that's when I was doing like the career, what was it? Who You Be coaching. It was like 6 sessions, right? And then when I really wanted people to do work, I did 6 weeks for like $1,000, right? And that's when I was building out, and then it increased, right? So sometimes you may start to build your confidence or just to see what the market is like. But I think for you, starting at like $2,000 or $2,500, or saying it's $1,000 and you give $500 off scholarship or whatever, is great because you're doing a lot. Right? There's a lot of value in this. And imagine, what's the value of finding your perfect partner, getting married, and being happy for the rest of your life?
Oh yeah.
Priceless, right? So,
Yes.
and
Definitely.
think about those $1 million matchmakers. People are charging like $10K to do this work with people, right? So
Right.
I think once again, but if you're like, oh, Quanisha, I cringe at saying it, it might be like, okay, do it for $1,500 and let's take off the massage, right? Or something like that. So that you don't feel like, oh, I'm giving so much and not getting anything back. So, you know, when you start having the strategy sessions, I say feel the fear and do it anyway. Offer it at the $3K. So here's the different options to kind of mirror what you're talking about. Once again, people are paying for your brain and access to you. You're giving this one-to-one. You're doing these assessments of what they need. They're getting virtual coaching, right? You all are givers, you over deliver, and you should make sure the pricing is reflecting that. All this work you're giving, right? So for that 90-day, that's why it's $2,500, $3,000. Now, if someone says, I can't do that, right? Once again, you can say, well, there's a payment plan. Would that be more accessible for you, right? And some people are like, oh, yeah, I could do $1,000 a month or whatever, $500 a month, right? So that's one way to make it accessible. The second thing is, if someone's like, no, I can't do that. No, I can't do the payment plan. You can say, okay, the other option is that we just do the assessment and create the plan for you. So I tell you what you need to work on. What I offer is a 90-minute find your soulmate planning session. And that's where we really hone in on the mindset piece. We build some affirmations for you, and then we get clarity on what are the aspects of an effective soulmate so that you know what this person looks like. Does that sound like that might be a fit? And they might be like, yeah, right? And they say, okay, well, the investment for that is $1,000. And because it's 2 hours and 90 minutes, we can either do it in 2 sessions so that you pay the payment of $500 and $500, or you can pay in full for $1,500 and you get the 2-hour session. Does that sound like this more accessible for you? Right? And once again, who would like to get $1,000 for 2 hours of your time? Right? So, and let me tell you, when I started doing the profit planning session, I did it for 90 minutes and I literally sold it because I wanted to see if people would buy it. It was $97, and then the next time I sold it, it was $197, and the next time I sold it, it was $497, and then it went to $697, and then to $1,000, and then I realized that I was giving people a business in a box in 90 minutes. Then I was like, shit, this is a $2,000 program. So if you need to build your confidence in the testimonials for it, right? And I could just tell y'all, like, just go straight to like the $1,000, right? Get someone in for $197. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna test the format of this, right? Or I'm gonna see what questions come up. And then the next time you sell it, add $300. The next time you sell it, add another $300, right? So I'm just sharing like what my actual experience was to like say like, does this even work? Right? But now I'm telling you at the other end that it works, and having multiple clients just do this, then at that $1,000. So that's the bite-size offer. It's just that assessment call where they get the plan, and then you kind of lay out the plan for them. And then you can still have that 30-day check-in call. Because often what happens is people get the plan, they don't do it. Right? And they're like, you gave me everything, but my mind still got in the way. And you're like, okay. Or they even realize before you get off the call, this has happened to me over and over again, like, shit, I need your coaching. Right? And it's like, all right, well, I will apply what you paid for this profit planning session towards the 90 days. Right? And they'll be like, all right, let me work it out. What's the first payment? Right? So once again, that experience of you, people be like, ooh, I need more, right? So that's another way to have accessibility. One thing you can do too is start thinking about what would a workshop look like, right? It could be discover your soulmate client, 4-hour, a half-day workshop. And you can start to introduce the mindset piece, the self-love, and help them get clarity, but you're doing it as a group, right? Some of the aspects of your 90-day program, that could be $100, right? Or $197. That's also how you make your work accessible. And like I shared with everyone else, some people were there for 4 hours. They got some aspects or some clarity, or they're like, this was great. I want you to help me now. What else do you have? And you're like, well, let's set up a call to explore if and how I can help you. And now you're seeing that they're fit for your 90-day or your bite size, right? So that's another way you can make it accessible, right? Having these 97 to 127, 197 workshops, right? The payment plans, and then having the 2 payment levels, right? The bite size, that's kind of like around 1,000, 1,500, depending on, how long it is, like the VIP strategy session, right? Or the full 90 days. So that's how you have this suite, right? That at the end of the day, it's still, though, all roads are kind of leading to this 90-day session, but you're getting paid along the way, right? And there's also these different opportunities at different price points. And once again, it's not about, people have to come into the workshop before they do the 90 days. No, it's not that. It's just these different access points that people can come in, because someone may have the 3K, but they want to do your workshop first because they're like, they're not even thinking like, this is accessible. It might be like, I need this help. Let me pay the $197. And they might be like, ooh, she told me she does this for people in like 90 days. Let me sign up so I can learn more about it. Right. And then there's some people just like, they read one thing of yours, they sign up for a strategy session, and they sign up for a 90-day, right? 3K, like nothing. So I don't want you all to think it has to be A, then B, and C. Some people are going to jump straight to the 90 days. Some people will come through your workshop and, want to work with you more, all those pieces. Crystal, the 90-day link was in your welcome email, but I can post it in the group for those of you who didn't schedule your, it depends on what you signed up. So it was actually a bonus for folks who signed up during the, so I think you signed up after, so that's why you didn't have the 90-day. But I am offering all of, like, everyone in Aya, if you want a 20-minute session, is $99. So many of you got it as a bonus. So either way, Krista, I can send you the link. So if you want that, that's what it is. So for some of you who still want like some private support, even ongoing, I'm giving you all that special where you can just pay $99 for a power session if you want something like one-on-one time. So I'll post that in the group. But Crystal, that's why you didn't get the link, because it was a bonus for people who signed up during that like end of February time. I think actually, when you watched the webinar, did I mention a 20-minute bonus? Crystal? You know what? I'm just going to say the link because I don't feel like even trying. I'm going to see the complimentary link, and then we'll just, because you signed up, I think, during that time of the replay. So it's fine. Anyway. But Raquel, does that feel good?
Yeah. Yep. And I'm excited about getting it all written out and seeing how it looks and trying it out.
Yay! Yay.
Yeah. Yep. Very excited. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Chris, let me just find the link right now. So then it's not even and then I'm going to read the comments. I know we're at the, I think this is the free one. Click that link. You should be able to schedule anyone who hasn't scheduled the 20-minute power session. And these are for the people who came in like through the RISE virtual summit when you joined. So if you hadn't scheduled your session, you can click that link for the complimentary session. Founding members, you already had your power sessions. If you want more time, I can send you the link for the $99 one. That's special for y'all in the Aya community if you want more private time. And then we're going to come back to Shirley. And once again, if you have to jump off, that's fine. I just want to make sure I answer Shirley's question because we started, but I had to go back to Raquel. I'm just looking. So Jamie said, when you said, are you speaking your client's language? I was like, wow, I'm not speaking how they would speak. That would be the thing keeping me from them too. Yeah, we want to kind of like really use their language. Okay, that's there. All right, so Shirley, right? Some of what I said to the other people kind of apply to you. So one thing I would suggest for you, based on what you said so far, is that I want you and your husband to think about, and this may be some of the market research, you may have done this a little bit. And once again, market research is asking like 3 to 5 people, right? This is not like doing a 100-person survey, 3 to 5 people. In this client population or this soulmate client profile that you want. So people who have a high level of spirituality, they're already doing the daily meditating, you know that they invest in themselves. These are people going on the retreats and paying to have their essence mapped and like all this other stuff, right? Like, you know, they invest. And you might want to ask them like, hey, we're looking to speak to people who have who feel they have a strong spiritual foundation and want to know what your unique experience is. And then you can ask them like, what are some of your challenges? What have you done so far to solve that challenge, right? And you may find out they're not looking for breathing work, right? Or bliss. They may feel like, I have bliss. My problem is getting my wife like to become blissful, right? And maybe like how to get your partner on board, right? So one, you don't know kind of what it is, or you can say your strategy sessions, right? So that's one way to find out the market research on what are some of the challenges that this population of kind of strong foundation spiritual folks are having. Even your own self do that assessment as someone who has a pretty strong, you can say mindfulness, spirituality practice. What do you feel like you need right now? Or what are you struggling with as someone who has like 5, 10 years and certifications in this area, right? Because now it may be like, well, how do I maintain this at work, right? It could be other challenges. And then you find out people also are having these challenges. And then, like you said, the breath to breath thing may be great because you find out that while people are at home, they feel like they can maintain their practice, but in all the other areas of their life, they feel like they're not having the mindfulness or the peace that they're looking for, right? So want to let me know if that's something you're like, yeah, I'm going throughout my day not being peaceful, but when I have my practice at home, I feel great. But then at work or riding the bus or driving, I am road raging and all these other things, right? So if you feel like you're having that problem, then there's probably thousands of other people who are like, yeah, I curse people out. I know it's bad. Like, all my Buddhist training just goes totally out the window, right? So then that breath to breath, how to have bliss throughout your daily life, may be a great workshop, right? Or program to sell. And then you can find out, there may be people who may be like, I just feel like this and I don't know what it is. And these would be great people for strategy sessions. So it could be, are you someone with a strong spiritual foundation, but you're still not feeling like you're in alignment, right? We can help. Click here to schedule a spirituality clarity session. It could be $99, right, for that 20 minutes, a power session, so that we can help you know exactly what it is and what your next step would be during that power session, though. And once again, you can phrase this as a sale. Hey, in April, to help you spring back to who you are, or whatever, we're offering a spirituality coaching cell, right? So are you someone with a spiritual foundation, but you're feeling not quite centered? Let us help you. We as a couple have over 20 years of blah, 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 blah. We've helped this many people do XYZ, and we're experts in Reiki and blah, 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 blah. And we can help you hone in exactly on what you're struggling with right now and give you a clear plan for going forward, right? And during that 20-minute session, someone may say, oh, well, my problem is being a spiritual mom or something. And then if you feel like that's an area that you can help that mom in, right, then you can say like, well, we can help you with that. Here's the first thing I would suggest, because once again, they paid for this session. Here's the number one thing I would help you suggest. And then, based on our coaching today, do you feel like you got support, right? Did you feel like this was helpful? Great. Well, we can definitely help you kind of, really get, you can say this is one thing, but if you'd like to explore further how we can really help you solidify, right, the spiritual motherhood that you're seeking, I'm happy to tell you more about the programs that we offer. And actually the one I think would be a fit for you. How does that sound? So because you all maybe have a breadth of spiritual experiences, you may kind of, once again, see what people are saying. And if you feel like it's not an area, like someone may be like, I need bliss, I don't know, tie my shoe. And you're like, I don't do tie your shoe bliss, right? So you can say, okay, well, here's one thing I suggest. And if you feel like you don't have anything to offer them, you can say, okay, well, what did you get out of today? And they may be like, oh, I got clarity, I understand what the problem is. You're like, great, well, I'm so happy that we got to talk. If you ever need support, please reach out. We do offer clarity sessions. Right. So it's okay for y'all to say, like, I don't help with that. Right. But you may hone in and maybe you do help with a range of things. And in 6 months, you may find like, oh, while we did help the mother with spirituality and we helped the person with tying their shoes and we helped the person get bliss at work, we really love the work one. Right. So now, like, let's hone in on the breath to breath. Like, that could be all you want to offer. Or you and your husband might be like, my wife hones in on the breath to breath and I do the miscellaneous, right? So if there's something you're like, husband, I really like doing this. So anyone who wants this, I'm the specialist for that now. And if you want to do everything else, that's fine. So that's one way, like, you both were right. So, but like the breath to breath, you may find out, you may have come up with that because maybe that was something that was commonly coming up or was coming up for you. And like I said, other people may have it. So you could decide if you want to specialize in that and refine that. But once again, you can just offer some power sessions, right? For paid, like $99 is like such a great sweet spot, everybody, and see what's coming up. And if you feel like your regular mode of, the strategy that you often take people through to get, clarity on whatever the areas of life are, it could be that miscellaneous stuff. And it's not so much miscellaneous, it's like spiritual attunement, and you just tailor it to what it is that they need, right? So how does that sound? How is that landing?
That sounds wonderful. We're just brainstorming while you were coaching other clients. Mm-hmm. And when we came up with this idea of offering as our freebie 7-day inspirational messages that sent to their inbox. Mm-hmm. And then we'll be offering King readings on Facebook Live, or general Facebook on general reading.
Is the husband there? Come on.
Yes, he is.
Come on, husband.
But he doesn't want,
he's like, I'm not coming on video.
I like to play.
Like, I'm going to absorb from the back of the camera.
He said he likes to play like he's shy.
We know.
Anyway, yes. And so we're gonna have the King readings for the 12 different signs, and then we can ask the people if they wanna.
I saw a lock came down. Okay,
hi. Then we're gonna ask the people if they want, further $99 reading. They can do a personal reading for $99. Mm-hmm. And then if they're interested in more, we can upgrade that to like a 90-day spiritual alignment reset. Mm-hmm. For them to do that, offering them laser coaching for that for 90 days.
Yeah. So that's, as you kind of saw, like the packages, like there's different ways you can package it. And so one, I don't want you to feel pressure that you have to do 7 days of like spiritual affirmations or anything. It could be a weekly email that you send. Right? It could be our love letter that goes out. There could be an affirmation. There could be like, one way to have bliss at work, right? And then the invitation, like, hey, if you are struggling right now, we're feeling centered, and you feel like you have a strong spiritual foundation, but it's not feeling in alignment, please know that we have sessions open still for our 20-minute power sessions. Grab yours today for only $99, right? Or click learn more and book your session, right? So that can take them to the link. So don't feel like you have to, if you want to do something every day, that's fine. But like having even a weekly one that goes out, and it could just be the same format that you send every week on a different topic, right? For content marketing, that's fine too. So for everyone, like when I say consistency, at least once a week, sending something to your list, right? And then even those readings, like you said, you can say Thursday is reading time, and you come on, you pick 3 people to do the, I don't know how you pronounce it. I don't want to mispronounce it. You said the Ike?
E-King.
E-King reading. You could do like Thursdays at 12. We do E-King readings, and we pick 3 people. And then once you get, like you said, that offer, like, hey, if you want your E-King reading, right, or you feel like you want more, we do offer these private power sessions or private E-King on, I don't know, laser E-King, right? So here's the link to schedule your session. We're happy to do that with you. And if you want to explore even deeper how we can work with you, that would be the first step, to do the 20-minute session. And of course, after we do that, we can talk more about how we can support you with finding this bliss every day in your life.
Yes. Sounds good.
Sound like a plan, my people?
Yes.
Yeah, so get paid to, like, you know, kind of connect. And then once again, if someone's like, this was great, I want more, it's like, oh, I'm happy to share, you know, how we can further support you. Do you want to hear about our 90-day bliss to daily bliss coaching program, right? Or intensive. Once again, y'all, it doesn't always have to be coaching program. It can be 90-day intensive. It could be boot camp, right? I put on the signature process worksheet like different adjectives, right, that you can use, 90-day formula that we walk you through. It doesn't always have to be coaching in that way. Yeah. So does that help?
Yes, it does.
Good. I can't wait to hear how it goes and the results from it.
Thank you.
And thank you, husband, for coming on. Awesome. All right. So anyone else? Are all hearts and minds clear? Crystal says, I'm still listening. I just won't be able to talk. I've enjoyed the session. Ladies rock. Awesome. Marsha said, thank you. Crystal said, thank you. And the link is there in the chat. All right, everyone. With I saw Lisa jump in. Lisa, I wanted to, and you can tell me if you want to talk about it or if you just, so Lisa, one thing that you brought up was this fear of getting started. Do you want me to touch on that?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I answered that question on the Aya network.
Yeah.
But the only thing, and I feel like I've resolved that basically from your next question.
Okay.
About, like, to give you a picture of what that looked like. So I feel like I did resolve it through my answer.
Okay, good.
But I had done the signature package, and I think, like I already told you, IT is not my greatest strong point. So I did it. It's in my computer, but I don't know how to forward it to you. And I remember seeing something about uploading, but I don't know how to.
Sure. Is it in like a document? Is it like a Word document or something?
Yeah, and I actually made it a PDF.
Okay, good. So when you go to create a post, and I think this even happens if you leave a comment. So whether you create a new post or even in that thread, if you want to comment, when you click on it, I think from your computer, because it's on your computer, there's a little icon that looks like a paperclip.
Oh, okay.
And that's what you want to select to attach it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that uploads. So everyone, if you want to upload your weekly check-ins, and once again, the weekly check-in is in, I think it's the profit planning class. I think like lesson 5. There's different formats like Word or PDF. And you can save it as a document and then upload it in the comments. So you can either start a new post, or when we do that weekly check-in post, if you comment, there's a little paper clip, and that's where you could, you select that. And then you, find wherever the file is on your computer, and then you select that, and it should be like, okay, once you hit okay, and it will upload it.
Okay.
To Aya.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right, y'all, this was such a great call. And I love the questions, because even though it may have been tailored to that person, many of you may have these questions or you got clarity, which a lot of you said. So I found that helpful. So next week, LaShonda will be our March 8th expert on LaShonda Henry of Sister Sense, particularly talking about why you should build an online platform, and then some of the essential things you should have on a website. there. And if you have some particular questions, if you want to kind of send some of your questions around like online marketing, building an online platform, or presenting yourself in the digital world, feel free in that event to write some of your questions, because this way I can even send that to her ahead of time, and maybe she'll just incorporate it even into her presentation. So that's and that's been up for a while. On that is next Monday at 7 o'clock. So we're having that expert session. Of course, I'll send out the reminders there. But if, yeah, I would say this week, right? If by like Wednesday or Friday, if you have some questions, and we'll do the Q&A. So once again, you can ask live or whatever comes up based on the presentation. But if you have some, thoughts of like even current things you may be struggling with, this idea of building a website or presenting yourself online, or even some of your struggles around online marketing, feel free to submit those ahead of time in the comments, and then I can share them with her. Or if you want information, like I know Crystal has a hair braiding business. Maybe she's like, well, how do I do that for like a service-based business where I'm hair braiding, right? What does that look like for me? Or some of you may have membership programs. Like, what does that look like for me as a membership, provider, or a product business-based business. So those are like some of the things. Or you can say, I'm struggling with this. I would love to hear your thoughts on it, right? And once again, those are the same ways you can ask me questions over laser coaching. So, it's okay if you can't formulate the question. You can say, this is my thought, and I don't know what to do with that, but it's keeping me stuck, right? So you don't always need to. I'm sorry. Oh, I think that was. So you don't always need to know the exact question, right? That's part of my job, or the expert's job, to kind of pull that out so we have the clarity that we need to answer your question. But yeah, so great. I'm glad you all are doing excellent work. These were excellent questions. I mean, there's never a bad question, but we're moving along, and a lot of the next lessons are the templates. So giving you all lots of templates and examples that you can use for yourself to, the market research one is there in the Create Your Signature program. But the Open for Business, the strategy session, I call it RAP instead of script. All those things will be coming up so that you all have that and can start getting out there, right? And sharing your genius in that way. All right, y'all. Well, have a good evening. The recording will be up in 24 hours. And we're having some changes with the team. So I realized the previous expert sessions are not up. So I'm making that commitment to also get those links there. So I apologize for that delay. We're just having some transition and changes. And like I said, coming off that high of February has delayed some things. So we'll just make sure everything, I'm doing kind of like a overhaul, not overhaul, but an overview to make sure that, the right things are up that we said were going to be up. So please know that this week and next week, a lot of that stuff will be up. But if there's anything that you're like, Quenisha, you said this. Also, look for an email for your address, because one of the things, in addition to the 20-minute session that I said I would give the bonus, another bonus was some of you getting my Bible, the Price Pitch It U Squared book, but I'll share the link with everyone in the group. So actually, I'll just make the commitment, because this is actually something I wanted the founding members to have. So everyone, I'm giving you my Price Pitch It, my Bible, my entrepreneurship Bible. So you all will get an email for me to get your exact mailing address. So I'll probably send out that link out via email. It'll be like a Google form. So I just want to make sure, because sometimes your billing address or what we have on file isn't your mailing address, so that everyone can get the Price Pitch It book that is currently in Aya. If you're watching this later, this bonus may not be available to you, but everyone as of March 18th who is in our program will get the Price Pitch It book. And Sherry said, awesome, so excited. Yes, the Bible's like literally like 20 pages, but it's impactful, y'all. Y'all see what I'm talking about. And so on future coaching calls, I may read from the Bible to highlight. I was like, yeah, it's a highlight a point. And literally me reading the Price Pitch It book every day when I started reading it every day, it helped my mindset hone in. Actually, I'm going to just start reading it again because I have some mindset stuff going on. I generated like 14K in sales within, I think it was like a 6-week period, right? Like it's really effective. And of course, legally, your results may not be mine, whatever, but it just helped me hone in and take action. And so Price Pritchett talks about quantum leaping, right? So I want you all to know that from the very beginning, no matter where you are, whether it's a refining your business or starting out, you can quantum leap, right? But it's having that confidence, that clarity and courage to get out there, share your genius. And like I said, in many different ways, your gift is not about you, right? It's about the people who need the help you need in the unique way that you offer it, right? So I'll leave you with that remember, power is the ability to create your reality, right? And this is our reality. We're here to serve and serve as a transaction, right? For our business. We're not having expensive hobbies. We're building profitable businesses where we know that we're transforming lives and ultimately transforming the world. All right, everyone. So good night. And once again, any questions that come up in between coaching sessions, post in the group. You have that access to virtual coaching, so take advantage of that. All right, everyone. Love you much and see you in the Aya Network. Bye.